see what I have you thinking I make believe. From my lips to the way I move, it's so smooth. Baby, I'm the best futuristic lover. I'ma bet you never had a love like this before. I'ma put it on you that tomorrow you'll be knocking on my door. I got the goodies, baby. Pick it.
Right now you know we unstoppable. Unstoppable, that mean them can't. Unstoppable, oh now we are clear.
Pleasant good night, one and all. Unstoppable family, blessings to everyone who is here tonight. Again, it is another show night. That simply means we're going to jump in and have an awesome conversation tonight. And I have with me two beautiful guests on this conversation tonight. And it is a topic that needs to be had. Now, before I even get into it, I'm going to say that I know this topic is a touchy one, a sensitive one where a lot of persons will get in their feelings over other person's opinions. But remember, each person's opinions is their own, and everyone is entitled to it, right? So we are here tonight to have this conversation. You can feel free to share your opinion. You can feel free to share your thoughts with us, and we will hear you out, all right? This topic tonight is one that we've all seen all over the news media. We've seen it all over social media, right? And this is nothing new. This is something that has been ongoing for years, right? This is something that we all had to deal with at one point or the other in our lives. And tonight we're going to be having an awesome conversation. And if you notice, I'm jumping right into it right away because I know that an hour won't be able to hold this conversation. So right away, we're going to be talking with Derek C. Williams, all right? And also I have a beautiful young lady with me as well who goes by the name of Tonian, all right? And we are going to jump into this conversation. So good night, ladies and my lady and gentlemen. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, sir, Unstoppable. How are you, sir?
I'm awesome, Derek. Thank you for being here. Tonian, what's up?
And I'm good, good. Upset but good. How are you?
Upset but good. I bet most of us feel the same way you feel tonight, but I'm doing all right. All right. Now,
Good, good.
I invited both of you here tonight to have this conversation with me so that we can discuss a lot of the things that we see happening in the news, right? As it pertains to blacks, people of our color, right? As it pertains to the most recent incident, right? With George Floyd, as it pertains to the incidents that happened before George Floyd, as it pertains to persons who lost their lives, right, unjustly. So we're
Yeah.
going to be having this
Yes.
conversation tonight. And before I even get into any specific one of these persons that lost their lives, let's talk a little bit about how you both feel about the present situation that's happening in the United States.
Well, ladies
Well,
first.
all right. Well, so today I feel a little bit better just because I feel like we've made some progress. They're charging the other three officers, but I'm mad with everyone else that it took so long, and mad at the system that we had to riot and burn things to get here to be heard. So that's where I'm at right now.
All right, Derek.
Yes, sir. I actually feel the same way. It's kind of ironic because I'm just going to go back just very quickly in history. 28 years ago, when the Rodney King verdict came down, there were also four officers in that case. But unfortunately, at that time, one of the reasons you had the riots is because guess what? The officers were acquitted. And now here we are 28 years later with a black man dead and it's four officers being charged. So I just wanted to point that out. And really quick, I'm just going to run through this in quick fashion. I did a little digging, and these are just some quick headlines. It's just like 2 minutes. These are headlines that I just picked up off the internet. West Philadelphia grocery store looted for 15 hours, no police. Las Vegas policeman is on life support after getting shot in the head during a protest. Louisville, Kentucky restaurant owner died by police hands,
Not
even
good
though he
tea.
was speeding.
Yeah.
He was, though he was speeding police for free. A representative
Yeah.
from New York State by the name of Elliot Engel got caught on a hot mic saying, if I didn't have a primary, I wouldn't care. meaning talking about he would not come out to the protest in his city had it not been for primary. I mean, I'm sorry, if had it not been for him having a primary election coming up. And the last thing I wanted to say was a Philadelphia man was killed because they were using explosive devices to blow up ATMs here. So kind of like you go out there and you do dirt, and that's what happens to you. So a man died last night from using explosive devices to steal money out of the ATM machine. So that's pretty much all I want to say with that. But yes, we have a very serious problem. And just really quickly, one last thing, I think it's a top down scenario we have. Government started all of this. Government took the slaves from Africa. Big Africans selling black people. The white man owns the education system. He owns the social values that we take. He owns the education, this, that, and the other. And so it's going to be a top-down remedy, if you ask me. So that's it. I'll yield to the young lady.
All right, what do you have to say, Tony, and about the things that Eric just said?
No, I agree, and I've been following. I hear about all that stuff, and my problem is like it's what you said about that politician that said that if he didn't have a election coming up, he wouldn't have gone out. Like all of this could have. It didn't have to get this far. Had our president or leaders come out and first of all arrested those officers a couple days ago when it happened.
All
Breonna
right.
Taylor that we're talking about, really quick, Breonna Taylor that we're talking about, like she was shut up in her house. Her boyfriend, who had a gun legally after the cops busted into their home, he was arrested the same night, and it was the wrong house. They did nothing wrong. They were in the right, and that man was arrested the same night. What took you so long? We have videos.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone saw what happened, and they are just now charging those three officers. And
Mm-hmm.
had we not been burning stuff, had we not been protesting, the other one would have not been charged a couple of days ago.
All right. Now, the question that I have, the tonight's topic titled as is, do you think the looting is actually for George Floyd? That is what I have the show titled as, right? And I'm asking that question because, as you know, we see a lot of looting. I'm not talking about the burning. I'm not talking about the protesting. I'm talking about the stealing of items. Do you think that it should be something that is happening in George Floyd's name?
No, I 100% do not agree with the looting. I think those people aren't hurt people. Those are people taking advantage of the situation, taking advantage of what's going on, and they go into people's store and they steal, and that's it. That's looting is looting. Protesting and rioting is completely different. I don't agree with the looting at all.
Derek, what do you have to say about that?
Yes, I concur. The fact of the matter is, people are basically they're being like leeches. They're using this man's death to go and take items that don't belong to them. And this is why I used the last example for the headline about the man dying. He was out there trying to steal money that did not belong to him, and he ended up blowing up himself.
Yeah.
And so I personally am not offended when you hear, see what it is. You can look at it as it's a code for being racist, but the fact is that you have people that are unthinking. They are unthinking. They are just reacting, and at that point, you are kind of like a thug. You are kind of like being an animal. So when you hear Trump or whomever use that term, me personally as a black person, I'm not offended because we are feeding on ourselves again. A store here in Philadelphia was looted for 15 straight hours. What did that grocery store have to do with
Exactly.
Chauvin killing
Yeah,
George
I
Floyd? They
agree.
are they are people out here are using these things as they say a come up, a hit a lick. That's what we say in the South. I hit a lick, and that's
Yeah,
all that is.
Exactly. And
I agree.
the thing about it is, these people are no, I understand that persons are saying, oh, you all are getting it wrong because it's white people doing this thing, it's not blacks. But that is not
Mhm.
factual. White people are out there looting as well, but blacks are out there looting as well. We've
I
seen the
agree.
videos, we've seen all the videos, we see blacks and we see whites, right? So at
Yeah,
the end of the day, if you're out there and it's just people using this opportunity to go and steal, right? When you
yeah,
run in and you say, okay, we've had enough, so we're going to go and steal and we're going to burn down persons businesses and stuff like that, how is that going to benefit the movement that black people are
Exactly.
trying to obtain, right? Blacks are out there fighting
Mhm.
for things to change, but at the same
Yes.
time,
Right.
opportunists are using this situation for say, all right then, I'm gonna run in another store here and I'm going to grab what I can grab. I'm going to take what I can take. And it is all because of this, what is going on. But that is not actually benefiting the protest.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah. See what it
All
is
right,
that
Derek,
um,
one moment, Derek. All right, so Stush
mhm.
Pumpkin is saying, why are we focusing on the looting? We're not focusing on the looting, Stush Pumpkin, but that is actually there. It is in the media. If you turn on the news, you will see that looting is in the headlines. Am I wrong, Derek?
Yeah.
Do we not see it happening?
No.
We
Because if it bleeds, it leads. The
exactly.
protest is the protest itself is a noble endeavor,
Mm-hmm.
but that does not drive the headlines, and people have to understand how media works. If it bleeds, it leads.
Exactly.
If you have blood and carnage, that is what you will see the most. Now, again, to Stush Pumpkin's point, is that she's probably thinking, well, they're out there for a good cause. Yes, they are, but that's not driving the news. The violence is what's driving the news. This is why you're getting such a response from the United States government. This is why here in Philadelphia, the so-called birthplace of freedom, we have armed troops downtown, and so they're not down there for a good reason. They're down there to stop potential violence. Big difference.
Yeah, that is true. See, we can't see. You may say, oh, you're focusing on the wrong thing. But at the end of the day, you can't just turn a blind eye and say, well, okay, there are protesters here. We're not going to look at what's happening over there. Let's leave that alone. But at the same time,
Yeah.
we have to look at it because it is happening and they are using the present situation to make it seem as if
Hmm.
it is all a part of the protest. That is
Yeah.
what they are
Agreed.
doing. So you can't turn a blind eye and say, oh, you're looking at the wrong thing. Yes, we are looking
Yeah.
at the fact that there is a protest going on. We're looking at the fact that there is a reason why these protesters are out there. But we also have to look at the fact that there are people out there trying to tarnish what is being done at the same time.
Yeah.
And
That
I
man,
agree.
that is all the looting is doing, tarnishing what
Yeah.
where the blacks are out there fighting for.
Yeah, I agree. I also kind of get where she's coming from too, because there have been people on my social media that really hasn't spoken up about the death, hasn't spoken up about police brutality, but took this the whole looting situation as an opportunity to show where they really stand. To be like, why do we support these people when they're looting? So I get where she's coming from too. There are people who haven't spoken up about the death, but want to speak up now about the looting.
and I
All
would
right.
I would actually I would actually chime in right quick with regards to how media portrays this thing. Yes, it is true that white people out there, and
Mm-hmm.
they're actually what's called agent provocateurs. But the way the media work is they will spin that to mean black people predominantly are
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
driving all of the violence. If you
Mm-hmm.
remember back during Hurricane Katrina, you had a similar situation down in New Orleans where everybody was taken, and they had a side by side photo. They had black people. They are referred to as looters. The
Yeah.
white people that were out there, they referred to them as refugees.
Mm-hmm.
So what they
Yes.
do a lot of times is they spin this narrative, and so I think as black people, we have to be very tactful on how we approach everything because it always seems that we end up with the egg on our face.
Yeah.
Derek, I've seen videos from George Floyd, and when I watch the things and listen to the things that this man stands for, he is the one that is talking to the young youths and telling them, listen, change your life, stop doing this, stop doing that, right? I'm quite
Hmm.
sure that this man would not be happy right now. Yes, he is happy. I'm sure you will be happy to know that people are standing up for him, but I'm quite sure
Yeah.
that he would not be happy right now to see people out there breaking into stores, taking things and using his death for that.
Yeah.
His family is
Absolutely
quoted as
not.
saying that.
Yeah.
His family is on record saying that we're his blood
Hmm.
and he would not like this and we're not out there, so why are you?
Right, right. I watched a video of his brother speaking out this morning. And his brother is reaching out and saying, listen, I appreciate everyone that came out and is standing with us for this cause. But at the same time, you people need to stop being distracted, right?
Yeah.
You're all being distracted. You're letting them feed you into thinking that you need to go and break into stores. His brother, his family is not standing with that. He's saying, listen, stop the looting, stop running into stores, stop stealing, because that is all it is. It is stealing. It is
Yeah,
nothing
that's
other
exactly what
than
it
that.
is.
It is just stealing, right? And his brother is, all
Hmm.
right, the next thing, if you notice that they are being used in some sense, some of them, right? Some of them are being used in some sense because, Derek, if you are out there as a protestant, you're protesting for a cause, and
Hmm.
you see pallets of bricks being dropped in the front of you, wouldn't you step
Hmm.
back for a minute and think before you grab these bricks?
Agree. Same thing they did in Chicago, Unstoppable. If you remember a few years ago, there was a freight car full of guns.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago is one of the most violent cities in America, probably the most violent. And it just so happened to pop up a freight load of guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what referred to as being an agent provocateur. They're saying that I understand that Trump is supposed to label Antifa as a terrorist organization, and you have to if you're doing that to push an agenda, yes, by definition that is a terrorist organization, and it definitely is white people out there running around creating havoc. But I'm for my people first. Black people will get blamed for that predominantly.
Mm-hmm. All right, studying McCoy, thank you. Good night for coming. But obviously, you just got here. We're not saying black people are the only persons out there looting. No one said that. If you just got here,
Not at
we
all.
stated that we know that white people is out there as well. It is not only blacks. So I
Yep.
am gonna assume that you just got here, right? Derek, let's talk a little bit. And well, Tonian, first tell me about when you saw the video of the situation with George Floyd and the officer was kneeling in his neck. What were your first thoughts? What came to mind when you saw this happening?
I could not finish that video. I busted out in tears. I couldn't finish the video because you can see the life leaving his body, and it was just something. It was about the cop, his attitude, his just he was so callous. He was
Mm-hmm.
just kneeling there. And that's what, yeah, him begging for his life, that was painful to watch. But just how callous that officer kneeled, just he had no care in the world. And
Exactly.
that's what got to me. That made me that's where the rage came.
Derek, what was
And
your thoughts when you saw that?
the same thing, and that's where the rage is. At that point, that's where the rage is comes from. But and once again, I'm for black people first. Our anger is misdirected. When I saw it, I thought immediately of Terrence Crutcher. I'm always referencing this gentleman in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a white female deputy shot and killed him at nothing, and he was actually asking the woman for help. He had his hands up from reports. Help me, my car is disabled. She said stop, and you can say, well, he kept going because that's what they said in the report. But he was unarmed, and she shot him down. And when I saw this guy on this man's neck, I didn't realize until early in the week that other guys were actually holding his legs down. Now it made sense as
Yeah.
to why it was so easy to
Mm-hmm.
choke this man out like that, because
Yeah.
he was essentially in a vice grip, unstoppable. He was
Mm-hmm.
in a
Yeah.
vice grip and couldn't move if he wanted to.
Right.
And once he stopped moving, I cut it off. I have not seen the rest of the tape.
Mm-hmm.
I have not, or the video. Once I saw him not move anymore, because it was like maybe 4 days before I actually had the nerve to watch it. But what I did see is that was hate, that was arrogance, that was animalistic behavior. To be honest
Yeah.
with you,
Mm-hmm.
he was an animal.
When I saw the video, my first thought was he straight up wanted to kill this man
Yeah.
because he didn't
Agreed.
have a care at all. The way he was just kneeling there nonchalant with him hand in his pocket, like, okay, this nigga is gonna die.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is all that was going through my mind when I was watching that video, right? And to know that if it wasn't for an uproar, all of them would have get way.
Of course,
Or
100%.
video, or lack of
Exactly.
video.
If it wasn't for the video, they would have all gotten away because others have. This is not the first time, you know. We know that this is not the first time this happened. It happened before. We see
Nope.
Sandra Bland, we see Ahmad, we see Trayvon. You understand? It happened
Shamir
several
Rice.
times. All these people that it happened to, we've seen it,
Foreign games.
you know. And the thing about it is, if
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't for no, there, this is not the first time there was video. There were video in these other
No, there's been
instances
plenty
as
of
well,
videos.
right? We
Right.
see Mike Brown, we see all of these people, right? We've seen all the videos, right? And nothing came out of it. They got
Listen to
charged,
me.
they were acquitted. That was it, right? And at the end of the day, it's just another life lost to them, and they care
Exactly.
not, right? Now,
Exactly.
with this,
Agreed.
with this situation with this man, there was absolutely no need for them to have him down like that because, for one, he was in handcuffs.
Exactly.
So
Right.
where was the danger? Where was the risk towards to the officers? There was no threat. You understand? So if there was no threat, why was he on the ground with an officer in his neck? And
Yeah.
at the same time, there were so many other officers there. So why is it that one of them couldn't have step up and say, listen, no, all right, everything cool now, come on for him, let's just put him in the vehicle. At one point, I even heard the man say, I will. When they said, we're going to put you in the vehicle, he said, I will. One of them said, calm down, we're going to put you in the vehicle. The man screamed, I will, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they still had him there with that. More call him some names, you see. But they still had him there with his knee in the man short. Right?
Yeah.
Now I've seen videos. The thing about it is, and this is something else too. I've seen videos of persons even bashing the persons who were recording the situation. See, sometimes people need to focus on what needs to be focused on. Because some of them are saying, oh, the people who were recording, they should have done something. But they did something. They did what they could have done. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for that video, we wouldn't be getting any justice right now.
Exactly.
You understand?
Well, what it is a lot of times, what unstoppable real quick, what it is that when they try to blame the citizens, what would have happened a lot of times, even though they are recording, of course, they was if someone had actually tried to physically intervene, they could have ran risk of arrest. They would have definitely
or
charged them
being
with
shot.
obstructing abduction.
Or
Or
their
being
own
shot.
deaths. They could have been shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
If
they tried
someone
to pepper spray him at one point.
Exactly.
The guy that was on his neck pulled out his pepper spray. That was the only time he had any emotions. Was when he was getting angry when they tried to get close.
Yeah.
Because if you notice when the person's there telling him, listen, the man can't breathe. When they try to step forward, right? That shiny looking one or whatever it be, right?
Yeah.
He was
Right.
starting to get aggressive. Right?
Exactly.
And at one
Yeah.
point, even the one who had his knee in the man's neck, if they had stepped to him, and I guarantee him would have shoot them. Because he was
Yeah.
out to kill that
Right.
day. That is all he was out to do that day.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't out there for
So,
anything else that day. He was just out there to kill.
I agree.
and he has a pedigree, from what I understand. He was involved in a police involved shooting some years prior to that.
Yeah, he had
And
9
neither,
other incidents.
yeah, the same thing as I understand. The same thing with the young boy in Cleveland, Ohio. The officer that shot him, he was actually transferred to that precinct from somewhere else in Ohio from another police involved shooting. And they seem to always have these bad apples, but unless the good cops say something, and I should tell you too, for full disclosure, Unstoppable, my brother Brian, he was a policeman in our hometown for many years, and we would always have these talks over the phone, and he was just saying, well, Derek, just to be honest with you, I'm telling you, Derek, there is a blue wall of silence. They are not going to come forward because then they will be ostracized in the department. Proof of that is in New York City. I often reference Kizzy Adonis. She was a black woman on scene at the Eric Garner fiasco. She was the senior officer that day when this white policeman was choking Eric Garner. She could have stopped it and
Mm-hmm.
didn't. So there is something to be said about even apparently even the police are intimidated from other police. So you got all this into play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they need to make the good cops and the good people, the good DAs and the good district attorneys need to make an example out of this. Charge
Agreed.
everyone involved, and then you learn. Because if someone else ends up dead under your care, everybody who's there who didn't speak up, who was complicit, is gonna go down for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
The thing about it
Yes,
is,
ma'am. I agree.
even if that female officer that you mentioned, Derek, see, there were too many officers there for none of them to put a stop to what was happening.
Exactly.
There was
Right.
just too many officers there. One of them could have stepped up and said, listen, all right. There was even another video that I saw a few days ago of um a few officers trying to detain a rioter, and one of them had his knee in the man's neck while trying to
Yeah, and it's
detain him.
like, come
Yeah.
on.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the very same thing why this is happening, but you are still out there practicing that very same technique. Right? And it was one of
Exactly.
the other officers that pulled his knee out of the man's neck.
Right.
And it
Crazy.
was
They
caught on tape. So it was
Yes.
like they're
It.
trying to start another situation out of the very same reason why the protest is going on.
exactly. It's like this is why we're in this situation to begin with.
Hmm.
Yeah. And down at just the other day down in Atlanta, I understand that two young people were tasered and their car broken into by police while all this stuff is going on. To me,
Yes.
it just shows you the level of arrogance because what cop in America right now in his right mind will want to be on tape
Exactly.
doing
Doing
illegal
that.
activity?
Exactly.
And all,
You have that has to be beyond arrogant
yeah, I
to do
agree.
that,
I agree.
you know. And I should also say too, unstoppable. I had brought up the fact about the Las Vegas policeman that was shot in the head. You're going to have on the you're going for every action there is a reaction. When these cops start to get plucked more, as sad and as heinous as that sounds, you're going to have stuff like that because of the arrogance of the police that they will just tase, pepper spray, rubber bullet innocent people. And
Yeah.
some people, some people just go all out like that. Now, of course,
Yeah.
we want to try to have a mature conversation and a measured one and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, when you do wrong, you're going to get wrong. And
Yeah.
so when I read about this Las Vegas cop, um I he just was shot as far as I'm concerned. It's unfortunate and I know he has a family, but I think I may have told you, no, I said it in a live I did. For all of the black blood that has been spilled, if you have a
Hmm.
cop or two or three that's shot, what you telling me?
Hmm.
Does that equate to all Emmett Till, Sean Bell, Corin Gaines? Does that equate to all the black blood that was spilled? And
Right.
so I understand the rage, but again, our rage is misdirected a lot. So you
Hmm.
know,
You know, uh Susie Q just made a point. I saw a video the other day of this officer that spoke out about the injustice and stuff like that, and he was fired. I'm not quite sure if both of you saw this video where he spoke up about things that needs to change, and they fired him.
mhm.
Now, do you think that this is the reason why some of the officers that would speak out in the police force probably don't, because they fear that it may cost them their jobs, or what do you think?
I kind of I yeah, that fear is there. So I kind of agree with what Derek said that most of the change does need to come from up top. You know, but look at what happened on the scene. Like if someone had spoken up at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
then there would be no having to speak up later.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like it's simple. Let's get him up. Let's get him in the car. Like
Mm-hmm.
if someone had spoken up then in that moment, then there wouldn't be any reason having to speak up later or having to testify against against your coworker in court.
But then
But I agree
you
with the
you know
repercussions. The fear is there, and
right, and you also have to look at if some of these officers, and this is very wrong because what it is they have this I guess what we want to call it, this pact. We call it a pact where you don't snitch on another officer, or you don't you know if you some of them fear that they will be alienated amongst their peers. You understand what I'm saying? If
yeah,
they
no,
Hmm.
stand
yeah,
up and say, listen, no, that is not right, they may be alienated and seen as a snitch in the police force, because things like
Right.
that do happen. Things like that do
Well,
happen.
well, I would say unstoppable if being that they have video, being that the whole world is watching you because you're on Facebook or whatever platform they was using to
Hmm.
film this. That's your protection. Even
Hmm.
if you are a cop who's afraid, your
yeah,
protection is the fact that you are and you stepped into the light. So if
yeah.
anything was to actually, that would be your protection. So I would I would I would be really shocked if something was to happen to that cop with regards to any type of retribution. That's the reason why they had the police unions are so strong and
Hmm.
things like that. But whatever
Exactly.
whatever whatever this blue wall of silence is, it's apparently effective because you don't have enough good cops stepping into the light. Now that I can't answer, but that is definitely a thing that my brother told me. He said, "Yes, Derek, it's a fraternity, and they don't talk."
Hmm.
Well, start arresting them. That'll change the culture. Either you're gonna speak up and snitch on your so-called snitch on your coworker, or you're gonna end up in jail and lose your
Yep,
family.
I saw
I
That's
agree.
it. Once you
Yes,
start
ma'am.
creating that culture, then that'll change.
I saw a protester
Hmm.
speak out the other day, Tony, and I want you to tell me what you think about this. I saw a protester speak out the other day, and the protester said, listen, the justice that we want and the change that we want when something like this happens, right? It doesn't just stop at the officer involved, it goes up to the chain of command. So even if the commissioner is in his office not knowing what is happening out there, if an officer violates the rights of a black person and kills him, right? The his chain of command pays the price as well. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
that
agree.
should happen?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because what happened with Ahmaud Arbery, right? That cop, the ex-cop that killed him, the guy and his son who had worked with the district attorney, who were supposed to be protecting us as people.
Hmm.
That's the
Right.
higher up. You're supposed to go out there, you're supposed to protect the people, but instead you covered up for that cop. She should be held accountable too.
Hmm.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
But do you
Everybody has to go down in a scenario like that.
Yeah.
but do we think that is actually going to ever happen
It's gonna be hard. I don't. I try to be hopeful, but honestly, I mean, like Derek said, change has to come from up top. So maybe we need to look at who we're voting for. Change our platforms. I honestly don't know who votes in like the command chief or
though?
but maybe it needs to start there.
Hmm.
But see, too, that's where I follow a gentleman out of California, and he's what you would consider a voluntariness. And the only thing that means is that someone who just simply wants to be left alone, you should be able to live your life so long as you aren't harming any people. And I always go back to the old West in America. What they would do in the old West is that people would police themselves. Now that means you have to have people who are open and honest and forthright to carry out the job of policing your neighborhood. Because the fact of the matter is, the police really are not, for one, they aren't on the hook to protect you. If you call 911, they don't get there before the killer. You can't hold them accountable. But if you have people on your block that are policing, you have a better chance. But I'm saying all that to say this: if you're gonna elect the officials, who do we trust with regards to holding their word? Because what it is that we'll vote for people who talk good, and we
Hmm.
won't see them for 4 years. So you have all this stuff at the forefront, and I think the system is so corrupt from that it is corrupt to the core. And I don't have an answer as to how that can be worked on, if you understand me.
Hmm.
But
All right.
self policing, definitely, it should be something that America and the world, for that matter, should entertain.
I think self-policing could work in Switzerland or somewhere else, but not in America. We're too selfish. Not in America.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bingo.
I agree with that.
I mean, yeah, bingo.
I
Yeah, you right, ma'am. You right.
I agree with
You're
that.
right. But I mean, I just thought I would throw it out there. I just thought that I would throw it out there.
Hmm.
But yes, the way Americans get down, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, G Style, thank you for the super chat, and Nkrumah, thank you so much. Listen, so where I'm gonna ask Derek this question now, Derek, because you're a historian, you know
Yes,
a lot of these things. Now, when we think
thank you.
back to Harriet Tubman and we think about the persons who fought for blacks to have the little privilege that we have today, and I said little because we don't have a lot,
You're right.
right? But when we think back to these people who fought for us and stood up for something back in the day, do you think that today we have any rights at all as blacks, Derek?
First of all, I think that they will look at the present day blacks in America, and I'm saying this, and I'm trying not to be arrogant. I'm just stating a fact. Most of the world looks at Black America, and they take their cues from how we get down over here. But I would say our forebearers, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, for the little bit of time he was in America, Malcolm X,
Mm-hmm.
Sojourner Truth, Mary McLeod Bethune, and others, they would look at us in shame, man. We
Mm-hmm.
we we not hold we're not holding the torch. We're not
Yeah.
carrying the torch proper. We're not carrying the torch proper. As far as the you now say the tail end of that again. You said something about the right. Say that last part
Do
again.
we do you believe at this in this present day we have any rights as blacks?
No, 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 no. As a matter of fact, I think it was the Dred Scott decision where I'm paraphrasing, but they said there is no law for blacks that the white man is bound to respect. So
Mm-hmm.
just off that alone, I would say no. The fact that we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule, the fact that we're still revisiting police brutality every other 2 or 3 years shows you right there you have no power. And I have been saying, we're in a capitalist country. The only thing that a capitalist respect is power. You either get that from money or the barrel of a gun. We don't have either. We
Yeah.
the government's guns are bigger, and they got the printing press. They own it all.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, I would say just if you're just gonna be honest with it, the black man owns nothing. You got nothing, and they own it all. And we can vote for politicians, but um, again, they only respect those who are donors to them, and usually those
Yeah.
are corporations. And because black people do not employ cooperative economics, because we don't have power blocks like the Jews, the Latinos, the Asians, a politician ain't really gonna listen to us, man. So
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
to answer your question, no, we have no rights. We got privileges, and as you can see, they've been taken because we can't go outside. It's curfews, this, that, and the third. So you got nothing.
I
The
agree.
incident of this young man that was jogging and he was brutally gunned down. What do you have to say about that, Tonya?
That is just awful, like I said. And the worst part, one, it's awful that it happened. And the worst part is that we didn't hear about it until what, months after,
When the
and
video showed
nothing
up.
happened.
Hmm.
Yeah, until the video came out and nothing happened. The district attorney covered up
Mm-hmm.
the murder.
Derek?
Hmm.
And
Well,
that
see, and
speaks to the right that Derek says that we don't have, because that happened to anyone else, any other race,
Right,
someone would have
exactly.
been arrested.
That
well,
is my point right there. If the tables were
mhm.
turned and it was two black people driving down the road in a truck and a white man was jogging, we would have been hearing a total different story.
Of course,
It would have
a
been
hundred
all over
percent.
the news media. Oh, black men shoots white jogger, and they would have been locked up long time. They would have been in prison
Well,
presently.
Well, Unstoppable.
Exactly.
This is why I said to you last week. I mean, it wasn't a challenge to you, but I just threw it out in the air. When you hear about all the power that we don't have, the only thing that black people can do is react to it. And so this is why, in my opinion, this is why you see why people are looting, because they have no voice. Just the fact that you can come up with that scenario, you just said yourself, Unstoppable. If the roles were reversed and you had two black guys chasing down a white guy, the black man would be under the jail immediately. Everybody
Exactly.
knows this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I get on my YouTube channel a lot of times in the comment section, people will say, "Well, you have a defeatist mindset." No, I'm not being defeatist. I'm just saying what it is.
Right. It's
Anybody
just
that
the
pay
straight
attention,
fact.
anybody that pay attention know this stuff. I'm not saying that we just should tuck our tails. I think that the African worldwide, we have always fought and we have a warrior spirit. I'm just simply saying, if you can show me where black people as a group worldwide, because the white man worldwide definitely stick together.
Mm-hmm.
If you can show where black people got bigger guns than the white man, can you show me where black people got the bigger printing press than the white man? If you can show me that, I'll shut up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not being defeatist. I'm just simply stating what is, and we just ain't there. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. I
And
said
this is
I said
this,
just a
this
couple
is
of days ago that nobody needs to try to divide us, because we
yeah.
already divide ourselves as black people. Nobody needs to
Yeah.
And
oppress
this
us
is why.
because we oppress ourselves as black people.
Yes. And this is why, once again, because I go back to shout out to Stush Pumpkin, but this is why the looting is a big deal, because the only bargaining chip, and it's not even really a bargaining chip. You just because you cutting your nose to spite your face. The
Yeah.
only thing the black man can do, the only thing he can do is two things. He can shut up, and that man is dead,
Hmm.
or he can go burn something up, and then you're not gonna eat because now your grocery store is closed. So
Yes.
you pick your poison.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
all.
And don't get me wrong, like I know it sounds awful, but I am not against the burning stuff. Just don't burn your community. Burn
But
those
see,
police stations.
but see,
I'm
Tony
for
and
Bingo.
it. Burn the big corporations.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
for it.
listen.
Listen, you know how many petitions I've signed, how many numbers I've called for Breonna Taylor, for Tamir Rice, for Ahmaud
Hmm.
Arbery. I ran. I did the hashtag. I did all of that, and nothing happened.
Hmm.
Nothing happened. So
Hmm.
sometimes you have to burn something for people to hear you,
Hmm.
Hmm.
But
but
not your
don't burn
own
down your
city,
community.
not your own community,
No,
right? And
not your
this is
community. Go
this is
burn the police
something,
stations.
Tony, and this is something I said earlier, and this is something I've been saying. I said I was having a conversation with a friend earlier, and I said, to me, I think the burning of stuff would be more effective if you left outside your community and went into the rich people them community and hit them. And I bet you would see difference, because then they are the ones that have all the connections. They know who to call. And when they start calling these people and say, listen, this is happening in our neighborhood, you need to fix it. No, it would be fixed, right?
Exactly.
But when you stay in your
Exactly.
very own city and destroy your very own city, you burn down the jobs that's there for the same black people in your city, right? You're only putting
Exactly.
blacks out of a job. The very same
Exactly. A
people,
hundred percent.
right? You're putting
Hmm.
your neighbor out of a job by doing what you're doing, right? Now, like I said, I am
Yes, sir.
all for the protest. I am all for that. I agree with that 100%, right? But at the end of the day, like, I mean, we're not going back on the looting thing, but it's unnecessary,
Yeah.
right?
The
Go
looting is
burn
unnecessary.
up the police car them, burn down the station, turn over the
Yeah.
wall of the car them, all of that. I agree with that. That means you're focusing on what needs to be focused on, and they will see what you're actually doing, because that is what is making you upset. Listen, you are my target. You are what I'm coming after. So I'm coming to destroy
Yeah.
your police station. I'm coming to burn down your police vehicles, and you will understand that this is why I'm upset. But when them see you running and you got T50-inch TV screen, and you go come out with Nikes, with Louis Vuittons, and this,
That does
that
nothing.
has nothing to do with what black people is fighting for. Absolutely
At
Exactly.
all.
nothing.
Yeah.
At
Your
all.
protest
It's,
works when you interrupt their lives. It has to
Exactly.
affect them.
hmm
Exactly.
Well, Well, I would say real quick, unstoppable. This to me, this is the rub. See, what it is that when you talk like that, it almost sounds like you when you talking about going to affect them. Now it's a major thing because I agree with what you and Miss Tony said.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go and try to set fire to City Hall, or if you tried to go and burn down the police station, for some reason, the black people don't seem to have the heart to do that.
Exactly.
I've always, I
Exactly.
have, I have always scratched my head at that. You quick to shoot, you're quick to shoot Derek,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
you won't go downtown and shoot at Abner.
Yeah.
You won't take. We had a Federal Reserve Bank at Sixth and Market. We had a
Mm-hmm.
Constitution Center at Sixth. I'm sorry, at Sixth and Arch. We had a Constitution, the United States Constitution Center at Sixth and Market. We have Independence Mall. We have the Penn's Landing. We have famous City Hall. We have the Philadelphia Art Museum. It's very interesting. No blacks went to go touch that.
Mm-hmm.
I always scratch my head at that. But they will be quick to burn up the store in a block and they have nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
got nothing. I would never understand that. But I think
Yeah.
I do. But I think I do understand it because they know that they will get wiped out. I think black people know that in their heart of hearts, if they were to go try to make a siege on City Hall, it wouldn't be pretty. And I
But
think
see,
that's the reason why they don't do that.
Mitchell blessings. But see, Derek, right? When Orlando share. You see the thing is, right, Derek, black people, right? We are quick, like you say, to hurt our very own. That is the
Hmm.
strong point in what you said a while ago, Derek. We're quick to hurt our very own, and that is exactly what they enjoy seeing, Derek. They enjoy to
Yes,
see
Oh
sir.
us
yeah.
fighting against each other. They enjoy to see us
Yeah.
killing each other. They enjoy seeing us burning down with cities. They enjoy
Yeah.
that. You understand? Hold on, let me take this call. Good night, Shay. What go on, my brother?
All going family.
There you know. What you have to say about the topic?
Well said a while. Well said. Where you say where you just the topic where you just put up a while ago. The statement. Sorry. This is what people not get. I am 1,000,000% with this protest peacefully. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
You see the burning and the looting.
Hmm.
This is me see it. You see, if I go burn down something, I want a solution. Me I take a group of people, me I take on to police station, me I take on to courthouse, me I take on some government bit.
Mm-hmm.
Me now go to the next community and go burn down something because guess what? Maybe me have a cousin who working at live in another community there, we have a
Exactly.
job in another store there.
Exactly.
Me now go rob Louis Vuitton store and then put it on social media so I just broke in a Louis Vuitton. You not help the situation. That's not justice for George. That's like spitting at the man's face.
Because he was not for that.
No, he was not for
Right.
that. Me just see on
Agree.
Facebook a while ago, a brother post up a picture saying breaking a one convenience store and thief out the lotto ticket them, the scratch ticket them. Like, how is that any form of justice?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what black people now get. Somebody are gonna pay for all of this after everything done,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course.
And you know how them are gonna pay for it? Our own brother and sister them are gonna sell we out for them not getting a trouble, just like with slavery. You get me? Just like with slavery, our own people sell we out, we all stand together, but at the end of the day, the white man prevail because guess what I just said? Right now, them happy. What the media show? The media show the looting. The media now show the peaceful protest. Them will get solutions.
Right.
Them will show the looting because
Yeah.
that is what them expect of us.
Right.
We're animals to them
Yeah.
and we prove to them with this we're animals. We don't prove so we're better.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. All right.
Yeah, man, it hurt. Yeah, man.
So hold on there, Shay. First of all, let me touch upon Black Wall Street because I see somebody commented in the comment section, and I
Yes.
had this
Yes.
conversation as well earlier, where somebody was saying, them burn down Black Wall Street and this and that. Now, I can use that very same statement to prove that what they are doing right now is stupidness. And the reason why I can say that is this. When the whites burned down Black Wall Street, it was because they was targeting what they had an issue with. Did that make sense a while ago?
Yes.
Yes,
They
it make very much
they
sense.
target exactly what they had an issue with. They didn't go around burning down their very own cities. They went and burned down
Exactly.
Black Wall Street because
Wow.
that is what they had an issue with. So if we,
Yep.
Yes.
and when I say we, I'm talking about the blacks that's against this thing and have an uproar, right? If we as black people decide, say we want to do something and actually make it work, we go and we burn down them where it a go affect them, not burn down the city where
Exactly.
we live in. So when people are
Yeah.
gonna rise
For
up and say,
real.
oh,
You have to
Black
lick them
Wall Street,
pockets.
they teach us how to do it. Them are the same one, them we start this first. But no, they went at their target and them target what them go for and them do it. Right?
Exactly.
You know what I love Stush
Yep, and
Pumpkin
that
for
was that.
calling. More are you calling us Stush Pumpkin? Because it look like you have a rebuttal for everything what me say. More are you calling, you know. You understand? But the point is, right, Shay, Derek, Tony Ann, they
Yeah.
went and they did
Mm-hmm.
exactly, right? They did exactly what they went to do and get their point across. Them not
Yeah.
burn down
Mm-hmm.
them own cities. Continue, Shay.
But
What
see
you
Exactly.
say?
that, but that was an
Yeah, man.
economic thing.
Because,
See, and
brother,
what you
look on
said
it
All
was
right,
this
hold
way,
on, hold
see?
on, Shay. Hold on,
You
hold
see,
on, Shay.
anyhow,
Hold on, Shay.
yeah,
Wait,
man.
go ahead, Derek.
no. I was just gonna say real quick. You're exactly right. They targeted the money. The
Mm-hmm.
Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was an economic threat to the white man, and so that's what they hit. Everything else they left alone. You dead on the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Shay, go ahead. What you say?
Yeah, what my brother say? When this incident happened, right? The first riot are going. You see if that crowd they take it and take on a government, its institution, I promise you, say another group across is another state to see that and take on another one. You see, let's say, me now say them for do it, you know. You see 4 to 5 government place get leaked hard. You see how fast them jump out and try to solve a problem. But what them do now? Louis Vuitton have insurance. Best Buy have insurance. GameStop have insurance. Like them a take on place where them people know say, oh yeah, a long time we want to get rid of them something anyway. And either way, them a go pay a fee. Because we're gonna start put up the price them pan of them see wanna come in they come buy.
Yeah.
So stop it.
But not only that, what happened to the little man where in business now have no insurance and them run in there and
Like
loot
me,
it?
like me see one man, oh gosh man, one little man stand up and a defend his store.
Yeah.
And some little young youth go there and beat the man in front and I beg them to leave in store alone. Like, where the justice in that there? I'm gonna tell you something
Yeah.
I'm Black Americans not getting. You see, when all of this thing calm down, as what the Americans, white Americans always say, sorry, somebody going to prison for this. Them are going to use somebody and use as a mortar to make people know, say, listen, don't fuck with it. Sorry, don't mess with it.
What are they say? So Tisha blessings. Listen to Tisha comment, you know, because Tisha made a comment and I'm guessing that it was supposed to oppose what we are saying, but it's actually corresponding with what we say. She said, well, the KKK burned down black churches, houses, burn crosses, and hang black men. They still focused on what their target was.
That's the thing. She still agree with
That's
me.
always like that.
Exactly.
She agree
It's
with
always
us.
like that.
It's yeah.
Guys, may I show you something, brother? In Europe right now, this thing what happened in America kind of opened the eyes of a lot of black people. But how black people want to hear so, they want to take it back to the motherland because I tell people what them don't know right now. You see a lot of people talk about 400 years of slavery and all of them something. Did a lot of you people know right now in Libya, the African refugees, them will come from Nigeria, Gambia, and them places, they are being sold in Libya as slaves. The own black people have them locked up in a foul cub over there, rape off the little girl them, beat the woman them, gas the man them, and light them a fire, make them run through field, hunt them, cook them, eat them. Them own a black people. Did you not talk about slavery? On no need to really look. Come out of America, think for a while and look what going on in the rest of the world with the own black people. And guess what do it to it? How we do it ourselves. 400 years of slavery, yes, how it start. How we sell our own people to the white man. When the white man couldn't control and this is our gullible, in go there and offer with weapon and not even work. And take our people them. You get me? We have our own destruction and the only way we're going to prove so we're better if we stand above them and use education, use knowledge. That is what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm trying to bully with because them know so we're smarter and we're stronger than them.
Shay, let me say,
Shay,
trust me. Big up yourself, brother. Thanks for calling. More I hear from Stush Pumpkin.
Know where yourself,
Seeing
man.
blessings. Thanks for calling, brother.
All right.
Bless.
More I hear from Stush Pumpkin, because Stush Pumpkin seems to have a very strong point where she want to get cross. And I guarantee you she not going to call in, Derek. I guarantee you she not going to call. Let me see if Stush Pumpkin actually going to call fi
Shout out to
get this
Such
point.
Pumpy.
Yeah, man. You know, more obviously Stush Pumpkin really want to get fear point across because she is in the comments and she still has said we're still not getting the point. More want to hear from Stush Pumpkin. I wonder if I see this. Good night. Is
Well,
this
well,
Stush
I would.
Pumpkin?
Hello.
Good night. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I wanted to call in and comment on the conversation for tonight.
All right. Firstly, is this Stush Pumpkin or no?
Oh no, this is not Pumpkin. This is
Okay.
Juanita.
Okay, Juanita. Big up. Talk to me.
Okay, so my comment is that before any other race is going to respect Black people have to fix their situation. You have to fix yourself
Mm-hmm.
before you reach out to fix anyone else. And it starts within the homes of the Black families.
Mm-hmm.
The Black men should be leaders. They should respect their women more and be more of a role model in the Black families. And without that, there can't be too much justice that will be immediately taking place based on the fact that they have to set an example for other people to say, hey, these Black people are united and together. Until we start within ourselves, set an example as being good fathers, good husbands, good men for our Black women in our Black community,
Mm-hmm.
then therefore no one else is going to respect Black people
Mm-hmm.
because of the racism that we are up against today.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my point. So I would like for that to be shared into tonight's discussion.
Thank you, Juanita.
You're welcome.
Juanita.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Blessings. Yeah, go ahead, Tonya.
No, like she made a good point, but I disagree. I think there's certain innate rights that we need to have as human beings. Period. You need to respect me. I am no less than you. It doesn't matter how our men are, how we're treated in our homes, all of that. Like, we're human beings, and you need to respect me no matter what color I am.
Mm-hmm. No, but I
You
think
take another
right,
human
but
being's life.
right, but I think what Juanita was saying is that we're not showing respect for each other. I think that was what she was trying to say. She was saying that persons of other colors is not respecting us because we don't respect ourselves, is what she is saying. I get what you're saying though, Tony.
I hear her, and I agree that we need to be more cohesive. We need to respect ourselves and come
Mm-hmm.
together, like the caller previously said. Like, we're enslaving our own and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, there's a certain level of respect that doesn't require me respecting another Black man for you to respect me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're human beings, and innately we have certain rights that need to be respected. Period.
Mm-hmm. 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 All right, so Miss Zena
Well,
Connect, Miss Zena Connect seemed to have her very own strong opinions as well pertaining to this thing. And Zena, remember, me tell you already, everyone is entitled to their opinion. You're entitled to yours. We are entitled to ours, right? And we can't beat you down for your opinion, just like you can't beat us down for our opinions, right? But this is not what you said a while ago. This is more of, well, Derek, go ahead. You were saying something.
Yes, I would like to address the last caller, and I knew exactly what she meant. What she's essentially saying is that Black people
Mm-hmm.
across the world should have some personal accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true that we have internal problems, but I would counter what she said just slightly by
Mm-hmm.
saying that everything has a genesis. The
Mm-hmm.
only reason why we have such dysfunction in the Black community worldwide is because we were actually put into a position to be dysfunctional. Now everyone
Exactly.
knows the problem. Everyone knows the problem, and so I would just say simply, step two is doing something about it. I had mentioned early on that this is a top-down thing. Now, yes, it's true. I'll go back to the Black Wall Street thing. Black people were upstanding.
Mm-hmm.
They were working. They built businesses. Their kids were educated in Black schools in the Tulsa area, only for it to be burned down by somebody that didn't look like them. That's an innate hatred within them, not Black people. So we have that to deal with. But yes, she is dead on the money.
Listen,
I cannot knock her, Miss Juanita.
listen.
There
What?
is a personal accountability to be that is true. But this thing got started by somebody, and it wasn't us.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
agree.
Good night, Grace. How are you?
I'm good.
What do you have to
Good
say
night,
about tonight's topic?
everybody.
Good night. Go ahead.
I
Good
agree
night.
with Derek when he said that the media is focusing on the looting
Mm-hmm.
because in my state there's no looting. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So the media is not really focusing on that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an old saying: when the head is bad, the whole body is bad.
Mm-hmm.
When this
Hmm.
thing
Yeah.
started, before the looting started, the president said, "Make America great again." And in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, that is for the white guys to come out there
Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
mingle with the black. And we so weak in the mind that we go along. They chose something, we did it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So the head is bad, so everything is just going haywire,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my question is, will there ever be justice? I don't think it will be for a long time
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
everybody is heated now. We are doing this, and I'm upset to what happened. I just started looking at the video and I didn't finish. Every time they show it on TV, I look away.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel that they bring up the charges for the guy, but I don't think they're going to send him to jail. And if they do, they might isolate him from the rest of the people.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to
Yeah.
be there with the other guys to give him a clout and a kick and a cuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think
I
it's going
agree.
to have justice now.
My
And as the lady
personal
Yeah.
said, oh,
my personal opinion,
go
Grace,
ahead.
is, and I've been saying this, they may charge him to hush the protesters up.
Exactly.
They might um take him to court to hush the people up and make them calm down for a
Exactly.
minute. And they might even send him to jail for calm people down and make they feel like they want something. And then after a
Yeah.
couple months, them release him. You know,
And then it's going to happen again.
that is
It's
my
going to
view on
happen
it. That
again.
is
Yeah.
what I think will happen.
Something is going
I
to happen
agree.
again. There is something wrong somewhere. Somewhere. I don't know if it's the head, if it's the middle, or if it's the tail, but
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong. And somehow or the other, we as black, we are not together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are not
I
Yes,
agree.
ma'am.
together. There's something wrong with us. We always pull down the other black because they buy a better car than us. They
Mm-hmm.
live in a better house. There's something wrong with us.
Mm-hmm.
When we get something,
Mm.
we jealous that person for what I don't know. Is it because we black why we so black in the mind?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with us. But this, my opinion, you're right. There, they will kind of hush him up a little bit. And the next thing you hear, he come out, new identity, new, and that's it until the next thing happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
the guy with the cigarette, he couldn't breathe. You mean to tell me you couldn't remember that he had said that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just in the police, the fire services. A friend of mine, he got high marks,
Mm-hmm.
and they put up the white man in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not gonna hear about that because it didn't affect nobody outside to kill or to shoot or whatever. Until we come together as we, that's how I see it.
Thank you, Grace. All right,
That's
thank you.
how I see it. And that's
Yeah.
my little piece so somebody else could get to talk.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep, I
Thank you.
agree with her 100%.
All right, listen, Tony and Derek. So Zena says if we're not watching the news, if we don't see that justice is prevailing. Zena, when George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin, wasn't he arrested? Wasn't he arrested, Tony Ann? He was
Oh
arrested,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, he
Derek,
was
he
arrested,
was
but what
arrested, right?
Yeah,
happened? He
he
never went to
prosecuted
jail.
again.
Exactly. When
Hmm.
other instances happened, other officers were fired. So an arrest does not mean justice. An arrest does not mean justice. Not in my book. right?
It doesn't mean justice. It
Right.
does not
Not
mean
at all.
justice. Like Grace said, you can
Hello?
arrest them and
1
then
minute,
they go
Zena.
to
1
court
minute.
and
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Tony-Ann.
no, I was saying it's just like Grace said, you can arrest them and then they go to court and that's it. Charges are
that's
dropped,
it.
they change their identity and it's over. That's it. This
Exactly.
is why we need to, she also said we need to unite. What are we asking for? What are we protesting? We need to ask for policy changes. We need to ask for
Hello?
less aggressive
Hold on,
measures
Zena,
when they
1 minute.
arrest people. We need to come together and come up with a plan. This is what we're asking for. It's not just okay arresting these officers.
Right.
We need systemic changes so that this does not happen again. So we're not here next year and the year after that.
Right. All right, Zena.
That's
No,
my
you are
concern.
here. Go ahead. Let's hear you out, Zena. Derek, Tony, and let's hear what Zena has to say.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna hear me out. My blood is boiling from all the people that are calling in and saying something is wrong with us. Black people are not doing it right. Black people this, black people that. What about the progress that has happened since all of this started? Remember when they murdered Trayvon Martin? No march happened. Nothing happened. That man walked away free, right? Until he committed some other crime, and then he went back to jail for some other thing. When they did it to Garnett and all those people, when we didn't do anything, nothing happened. So what I'm trying to say now that we're burning stuff, looting or rioting and marching, now we're seeing progress. Remember, today alone, from what happened with all the marching and all the protests that is going on, today, see justice for George Floyd that passed away. We see them went from third degree to second degree murder. We see them go out and find these other 3 officers and charge them. So stop saying that something is wrong. Nothing is wrong with us.
Zena.
What is wrong with us? We don't know our history. We did not learn our history, and we cannot identify ourselves. That is the problem. And until we do that, we won't understand. And when you're talking about what they did to us, what white people did to us, it's not about black against white. It's not about that. It's about the system against us black people. That's
Zena.
the point, and people are missing that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of upset because I'm listening to all the calls that are coming in, and you guys they're just not making any sense. We're doing this for a reason. Yes, Gucci have insurance, but the money has to come from somewhere. They did burn police car. They did burn courthouse. They did go for police station and everything. Yes, some innocent people die, and with the COVID going on right now, people are broke, people are desperate. So you're gonna find those other people that coming in
Zena.
and doing what they want
Zena.
to. Yes, I'm listening.
Calm down
I'm
a minute.
kind of
Zena, calm down a minute and listen.
Listen, the whole point of what's going on.
Calm down a minute and listen. I'm going to
Oh,
assume I'm going to assume you didn't hear when myself and both Tony-Ann were saying that an arrest does not mean justice. Do you think that an arrest
Listen,
means justice, Zena?
Unstoppable. If they let these cops out, I'm telling you, it's gonna get worse.
Zena, we've seen
So
that
I
happen
don't
though. We
believe-
have seen that happen.
Okay, an arrest does not mean justice, an arrest does not mean death. So that's the point we're trying to make. You trying to arrest someone doesn't mean that you kill them. You understand? And justice will prevail because we see coming. You understand? They wouldn't just change the status of what they're charged with for nothing. So that's my point.
But
Stop
Zena,
going against
Zena.
forget about the looting and I watched
See,
the
you cannot say forget about the looting, Zena, because that is a part of what is happening. Listen to what you just said.
We are focusing on the wrong
We are
thing.
not focusing
It's
on
not about
anything.
the
We are
looting.
not
It's about
focusing on
the
the
death.
looting, but
It's
we have
about
to
the
see that it is happening. We have to see that
Unstoppable.
it is happening.
All these things that are taken can be put back. We cannot bring back the life of that man that died innocently.
I'll agree with that.
No one is. You can.
No, that's the point. All
You
of
can
this
be
can
for
built
the
back.
Zena.
Hold on, Zena. Calm down.
And
Hold on, Zena. Zena, hold on.
It's black against the society that's built against us. That's
All right,
point.
Tonya, let her speak and then we'll address it after. Go ahead, Zena. What you say?
I'm done talking. I'm just upset at all the stuff that are calling. This needs to start with our home. It needs to start with the school. It needs to start off what they teach us in school about our history. We go to school and all we learn about is European history and everybody else's history except for us. We have to go searching for our own history. So I'm upset at some people that are calling in and saying, "Oh, if you drive a better car, people might bad minded." It's not about that right now. We're talking about Black life that matters. That's all I have to say.
Zena, you're missing the point, you know. You're missing the
Okay,
point.
when I'm missing the point, I'm missing the point. But I'm just saying the show is focusing on the wrong thing. Because I watch the media every day and it's not
So destroying your community is okay, Zena. Zena, destroying your community okay? Is that going to give you justice when you destroy your very own community, Zena? When you put your very own cousin or your niece or your neighbor or your uncle out of a job because you burned down the place where him work, is that giving you justice? Is that giving Black people rights that they are seeking to get? Is that doing that?
Sometimes we have to lose. Sometimes we have to lose to gain.
Zena, that made no sense what you said.
No, but you don't need to. You
Zena,
can
that
burn
made
them down, but not
absolutely
burn down
no
your
sense.
own community. You can be for both. You can be for both. You can be for
to gain some things. This will teach us to build our own. After this, it will teach us to build our own. Every time when something like this happens, we move another direction. You understand? Whenever there's a destruction somewhere, you learn to build somewhere, you learn to build something up. I don't care about jobs. Sometimes jobs are not even getting up anywhere. You understand? But the justice and the rights and for everybody.
Zena.
It's not for just Black people. We
Zena.
just want
You
to be
gotta
a
care
part
about
of humanity, which we're not, which they're trying to say we're not fully human or whatever it is.
Zena.
You understand?
You're passionate.
We're not counted as one person. And then we're criticizing our own so much. There's so much pressure on Black people. We need to stop.
Zena,
you're
passionate. Zena, you're passionate about something, but you're directing your passion to the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
I'm passionate about Black people. I am passionate about Black people and how people think about us. How we think about our own self. People talking about, oh, we this and we that. How about you make a change? Sometimes you can make the change for the other person to make the change.
But Zena,
Yeah,
unless Blacks start working together, how is the change going to come, Zena? The change is not going to come if we segregate ourselves.
Unstoppable. Remember, every time we pull together, they stop us. When we used to go out and put our fist up, when we put our fist up, it's offensive to other people. We shouldn't put our fist up because it's offensive. We're too Black to put our fist up. So every time when we bring something to unify us, they pull us apart. They came with religions first. They came and said, "Oh, if your skin color is not like the color of this bag, then you're too Black for society." You understand? So those are like we have to educate ourselves on history. If Black people don't know their history, they don't know what they're talking about. These things that you guys are focusing on about looting and this and that, this can be put back.
Zena, it is not about what can be put back. That is not the issue. That is not the issue.
Unstoppable. All these jobs can be recreated.
That is not the issue.
All these jobs, Unstoppable, can be recreated. All these businesses can be rebuilt. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. You sitting on a man neck for 9 minutes cannot bring him back.
Ma'am, excuse Miss Zena.
And not losing.
All right,
Zena.
Miss Zena.
Hold on,
no, ma'am.
Hold on, Derek. Zena, you won't be able to hear what Derek and Antonian has to say, so you'll have to listen on the channel.
Yeah, but, I know. I'm going to get off the live because I'm done talking.
All right,
I'm too upset. Bye.
Let's hear what Derek has to say. Derek, what you say?
No, I just was going to say the last part, and respect due to the caller. Clearly, she's upset and got all that. But when she said the part about the jobs, if she simply looks at South Central Los Angeles, that was 28 years ago, some jobs have not returned because the store owners decided that was too much of a risk to put their business back there for fear of another uprising. And this is why a lot of jobs are lost. What it is, it's what's called hustling backwards. If a business gets destroyed and they have to come back and rebuild the same business, they aren't turning a profit. So why even go back? It would be better just to leave it to die. And that's what happens a lot of times. And that's where black people, I think, miss the mark. You think you're doing something by cutting your nose to spite your face. And we have to be a little bit more tactical in that. Now, again, like I said, I respect her passion, but that last part, actually, that dog don't hunt. That's not
Yeah,
true.
and nothing is wrong with being passionate about the cause, Derek. I understand that Zena is passionate, but what Zena is passionate about, she is letting it confuse her focus. That is what she is doing, because I'm trying to explain to Zena that, listen, burning down your city is not going to give you justice. An arrest
At
is
all.
not giving you justice. Not because the police say, okay, we're going to charge these other officers. That is not justice. Of course, we're glad now that they're not only just fired, we're glad now that there's a charge against them, but that is not justice. When we see them actually get 35 to 50 years in prison for what they did, then we can say
Or the
yes.
death penalty.
Exactly.
Or the
Then we
death
can say,
penalty.
yes, we got justice. And she's saying, we're all right. Tisha, Stush Pumpkin, and Zena, these are the three people that's really standing up against what we are saying, right? No,
And
my
that's
thing
fine.
is, yeah, it's fine. And see, that is why I said in the very beginning of the conversation, everyone has their own opinions, and we're not going to go against their opinion, but we can all share our opinions and feel okay about it. If you notice, Zena says she
Mhm.
upset at other person's opinions. You cannot be upset at someone's opinion. That is each and every person's right? But what I'm
Right.
saying is, an arrest does not equal to justice. So
Not at all.
we can feel happy to know that they got arrested, yes. But at the end of the day, we want more than just an arrest, right? K can't call back, right? We want more than just an arrest. We want to actually see the and I can say this. Zena is saying it gave us justice, but the looting did not give us justice. That is not what gave
Exactly.
us justice.
Exactly.
That got you hurt.
Exactly.
The looting only got you hurt. That means
And it
Exactly.
took away
that
from the
hurts
movement.
everybody.
It took away from it. It took
Hmm.
away from it. I get where she's coming from. Yeah, we would not have gotten to where we were. They wouldn't have been even charged had people not been out in the streets protesting. But that was not the looting. That
Right.
was not you going into store and stealing. That was
Right.
the marching.
Not at
That was
all.
people being
Not at
vocal
all.
and probably burning some shit, excuse my language, but not
Hmm.
going to stores and stealing. And you can be for the riots, you can be for the protest and be against the looting, because going to stores and stealing is plain wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
Exactly.
plain
Long
wrong.
story short.
And
Yep.
if you have time to go into a store to pick out some stuff, I want this and I want that. That's not you being mad about someone dying. At
Tony
no
Ann,
point did that cross your mind. If
Tony Ann,
you said something, yeah,
I
sorry.
saw a video where they were looting and they smashed the windows. One person ran in and was pouring out the stuff through the window. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. What does that have to do with
How are
rights
you
for
upset
black
about
people?
someone's death? Exactly. How are you upset about someone's death in that moment? How?
Exactly.
That's robbery.
That's robbery.
That's
If you
robbery.
set a car on fire, you throw
That's an
a brick somewhere
arsonist.
because you're mad. I
Hmm.
understand. How
Listen.
many times do we get upset in our own homes and we break our own stuff? I
So
understand. But
so
you going into a store to steal something? No, you're not upset. You're a
Zena
thief.
says
That's it.
Zena says in the comments that the looting got their attention.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. 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 Actually, unstoppable.
Hello.
Unstoppable. Real quick. Actually, unstoppable. She's right. It
Hello.
did get their
Mm-hmm.
attention. It
Mm-hmm.
got the attention of the military.
Okay then.
That's only that's it got the attention of the American National Guard,
Mm-hmm.
and now everyone is locked down again. It was locked down for the so-called virus, and now you're being locked down again because now the military is on the street. So you
Mm-hmm.
did get attention, but that's attention that most people don't want.
Right. All right. So I have another caller on the phone. Good night, caller. What's going on?
Okay, unstoppable. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest, say a long time we are protest peacefully. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
but to be a lot of you have to do what make you feel comfortable. Where you think the looting might work for us to an extent, and it might not work for us. You have to look into the fact again, too, we are destroying business places. Many of these people who are destroying this property, they're not protesting, just doing it for fun, they're doing it for clout. That's where I'm coming
Exactly.
from. However, Marcus Messiah Garvey do it for we, Malcolm do it for we in a long time. We have fought a look warrior and unstoppably. But let me tell you something. You see, we as black people, we don't love each other, and white man knows so we don't love each other. Look on this. A three white man work together and kill the black man. Just look, it is a terrible act, but look at it, unstoppable. You see, the moment we can build each other, uplift each other, work with each other, we're winning now. But let me tell you something, this war, we're not going to stop it. This war not going to end for right now. As I said, the looting my work and it must work. It's a me I come from because it have an advantage and a disadvantage towards this situation right now.
All right, Carla, thank
You
you.
get that? Right.
Derek, what you have to say about what the caller say?
I agree. Once again, that you aren't helping the cause at all. You can't possibly be honoring that man. Yes, he died in a violent fashion, but I'm quite sure he would not want his brothers and sisters, his so-called brothers and sisters, to burn up goods and services in the
Exactly.
communities in which they stay.
Exactly.
You're what they call it. That's called hustling backwards. Either way
Exactly.
you look at it. And again, you're going to elicit the response of the government as an ex-military man. That's what they want. The government actually wants really they want some type of civil war to take place, and people have to always keep that at the front burner. This is not about just our rights. This is really about your freedoms. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I misspoke. This is really about your freedoms. This is not about whether you feel good or you equal to white people or anything like that. They want to curtail you. They want to tell people what to do. They want your rights and freedoms restricted and things like that. And when you go out there acting like that, you give them the justifiable reason to shut you down. We have to
Exactly.
be more tactful in that.
You
That's
know,
not to say you see, people think that because if you don't say anything, because they say silence is approval. No, you actually going out and you're trying to make your voice heard before it becomes a shooting thing, right? But the problem with us, we don't have enough guns to offset what they got. So we back to that powerless type thing again. It's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a position to be in.
all right. So Zena just said that Marcus Garvey died from peaceful protesting.
MLK too.
Oh God.
Yes, he was the one that said turn the other cheek, and he ended up dying violently, unfortunately. But once again, it wasn't at the hands of a black. They say James Earl Ray, but that was government right there. The same thing with Malcolm X. Usually, our black leaders were killed, as it turns out, from what they call COINTELPRO. It was a governmental plot to disrupt, defame, and assassinate black leaders. That didn't come from black people. That came from them. And that's the reason why I keep saying this is a top down thing. The average white person kneeling and saying I'm sorry, that's not going to do anything. Us going out there and tearing up our own communities ain't gonna do nothing. This is a top down thing, and I think at the rate we go, we may end up with that shooting thing. And I think many blacks are gonna suffer in the final equation, and that's not gonna be good, in my opinion.
All right. So we have Lady B Unstoppable on the line. What's going on, Lady B?
Hi, how are you?
All is well.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Tony,
Night,
and
good
good
night.
night, Derek. I really appreciate the
Yes, ma'am.
panel or the persons on the panel. Um, when I saw what happened, I was really, really upset as well. And with regards to the topic, because I don't want to get off track. With regards to the topic, I really do not agree with the looting. And I also understand that when it comes down to the demonstration, over the years, we've been demonstrating peacefully. And the fact that they burn places, I really don't agree with them burning like our places. And as you said earlier, Unstoppable, burn some police station, but don't go in the black neighborhoods and burn the black stores, black people, black owned stores and all of that, because it's gonna be an issue when it comes on to cost of living. But as I said, I am
Yep.
really not for the looting.
Mhm.
And as was said on the news, some of those persons who were looting, they were like professionals in the ground, in the crowd, just trying to, create havoc and to add to the chaos.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
most of that is not really our own black. Well, maybe not most. Some of them are not really our own black, but you know, blacks were also a part of it. So, with regards to the looting, I do not agree with the looting. But yes, I agree with burning some stuff. I agree with doing some things that will get their attention and that will actually initiate them locking up those people, those police officers, even though, it's going to be a long process ahead. But I really do agree with not the whole riot thing, but burning some stuff up.
Mhm.
I agree with that. But the looting, no, that's stealing.
All right. Thank you so much.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Thank you. Boy, listen. At the end of the day, right now, a lot of persons in their feelings. Some people looking at it from how they want to look at it. Some people are okay with the looting, which is, as Lady B just said, it is straight up stealing, right? It is straight up stealing and nothing other than that, right? Everyone is entitled to their opinions. I'm fine with you having your opinion on how you see it, but it is what it is, and we're just talking about the facts. All right, it is not the looting. You know what? The stealing is not going to give black people justice. Me I call it what it is. Simple as that. Oh, my son Derek Antonian.
No, straight up. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. And like I said again, not only that you bring in, see, my biggest thing, unstoppable, again being prior service. I just know how they operate. You do not want the military in your cities, and they won't hesitate to pull triggers. Your children are in danger. You are in danger. I'm in danger in a scenario
I
like
know what
that.
happened.
If they say off the streets at 6 o'clock and you are on the streets at 6:01, they are ordered to shoot on sight. You got. I mean, I don't know what you do, but I'm just afraid of a scenario like that. So while people are talking about, yeah, burn it down, you asking for something that you don't want. That's where I am with it, unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I
Tony
hear
Tough,
you,
what go
but
on, my
our
brother?
government needs to be. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm still on there still.
Tough,
I'm
turn
just
turn
here
on
listening.
turn on what playing in your background.
Okay. All right. Can you hear it?
All right, you stop now. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was just listening to everything still, and enough things bother me, so I didn't really want to say much still. But
Mm-hmm.
I understand where Zena's coming from still.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. But one thing I want to ask, okay, with Derek C. Williams on the line,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a
Yes,
known
sir.
fact, right? Since what happened in Ferguson, that when there's rioting and looting, a lot of the looters
Mhm.
and rioters are coming in from different towns and looting
Yes, sir. They
True.
other
were.
people's town. So when you guys are
That's
Hmm.
saying
true.
burning down their own town,
Mm-hmm.
you have to look into the fact that a lot of these people do not live where they're looting and rioting at,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have some people in jail right now that just got what's it called, bailed out of jail, that live in Buffalo,
Mm-hmm.
okay, upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know where Minneapolis is, but I can tell you straight goods. I know that Buffalo is nowhere close to upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
This is a trend, right? That certain groups in America use where they go to other people's town when something is happening and they burn down other people's town. So all these
Mm-hmm.
people, whether they're
Yeah.
black or white, they're
Mm-hmm.
not burning down their own town, right?
Exactly.
So when you keep saying that they're burning down their own town, please look into the fact that most of the people that are burning down these places, they do not live there, whether they're black or white. So if it's a black person that's burning it down, they don't care. They don't live there. It's not affecting them, right?
But Tony, all right. So
Who would
Zena,
burn down
all
their
right.
own
So
town?
hold on, Tony. Zena is saying exactly as if you're agreeing with what she's saying. Zena, Tony is not agreeing with what you're saying, because Tony is not saying that the burning down of the businesses is right. That is not what he's saying. He's saying that the people coming in and doing this is not from there. He is not agreeing that it's okay. That's not what you're doing, right, Tony?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's right,
Okay.
but however, I am saying that things had to be done,
Mm-hmm.
right? Things have to be
Yeah.
done for the government to listen to the people. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The looting is not going to help them, but you know what? Sometimes it's going to help because okay, everybody can agree that arrest means nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were not even going to arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They're not going to arrest nobody. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
So they
not
had
that
to
it doesn't mean
loot and
anything.
they
It's
had to
just a
burn
start.
for people
It
to
does
start
mean
being
something.
arrested. Now,
It's just a start, though.
in all
It's
honesty,
not full justice.
from all the things that I see, I was alive when they beat the youth down in California and they arrested the cops and nothing happened. I've been alive to see so many people get off, right? So just because they're arrested, I don't think anything is going to happen after that, right?
That is
Okay, I
exactly
have
what
some,
I was saying. Exactly what I was saying,
but
Tony.
it's true. However, nothing is going to happen. I don't think so. But however, they would have done nothing.
Listen,
Peaceful protests have
Tony,
never worked.
the only way that it goes further than them just being arrested is if the people continue to push for more. That is the only way it is going to be more than them just being arrested. But if the people push now and stop, then it's just going to be, okay, we got an arrest, then it goes to court. They might drag it out for a while until the people will forget about it and then they get acquitted. You understand?
Yeah.
That is
I
what may
understand
happen.
that person. Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna stop. I think they have to stay. They have to keep at it. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree. I think people are
I
going
will
to
look
keep
more.
pushing.
So,
This time it's different.
Derek said that because of the looting, then Trump called in the military. No, sir. Derek C. Williams, on the other day when you called, you said that it's their tactic. First of all, Trump's tactic was to say that when the looting starts, the shooting starts, to make the people that were rioting more upset. When you say when a man like Trump, where everybody knows he's an open racist, says that, and that means that he's trying to bait the people that are protesting and rioting into doing things. Now, when he says that, then Antifa, right? If you live in America, then you've heard about Antifa, right? Can send in their goons to start doing things. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen the video where the policeman is breaking the window, right? And while people are trying to stop him, and then he's running away, the one with the umbrella, right? So Trump is the one that called in the military and I can't remember the National Guard or whatever, because I'm in Canada, so I don't remember the name of the thing, but the guard, Trump called them in from before the riot, from before the looting started. He called them in when the burning started. Okay, so the military was done on its way. So it was no military came because of no looting. Military came because of burning. So let's get the timeline correct if we're going to talk. Let's get the timeline correct.
Okay.
The military
I can answer
called
that
because of the burning, not because of the looting. The looting came after the military and the guard was already on their way. Okay. Now, okay, hold on.
That's fine.
Yeah,
But
so I said that point. Now,
Hold
black
on,
people.
Derek.
Okay,
Remember,
black.
you can't hear you. You can't hear Derek. So
Oh, can't hear. Okay.
yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Okay. So now, black people do love each other, right? Okay, wait. But we're taught, okay? Black people are taught to be divided and rule. When you watch it's at a point where black people are probably the only people that are scared of themselves, right? Why? Because when you watch the news, the first thing that they always lead with, remember, what Derek said, if it leads, if it bleeds, it leads. And they always put the black people doing something until black people are scared of themselves, right? Until we have people calling in now saying that black people are the only people that are envious. Black people are the only people that are jealous. Black people are the only people that see when somebody has something and they want it. Hold on, that's not a black thing. Everybody has that. Every race has that. That's a human thing. That's a human thing. Let's not put this on no black people. This is a human thing. Everybody has that. Okay, it's not just a black thing, right? Now we have to take that out of ourselves. But it's not a thing where because black people do. I see white people that hate each other. I work with pure white people and they all hate each other just as much as anybody else hates it. I see Chinese people, I see Filipino, I see they all hate each other. Okay, so it's not a thing where black people this and black people that.
Tony, let me ask you a question and give me a straight up answer, right?
Okay.
Do whites unite for a cause?
Let me tell you something, okay? When whites unite, it's not a thing of the whites are uniting, They're uniting in their own individual factions and groups, because white people, you can look at white people and other, like a bunch of white people. When I look at white people, I can't tell who is who and who is who. And they can tell you which white person is from here, which white person is from there, which white person is this religion, which white person is that religion, because you know why? They don't like that religion. They don't like the ones from that country. They don't like, so when they unite, they're uniting in their own people, in their own little section.
Right.
Right. Now, I don't know about America, but you see in Canada now, the Jamaican people are all together. They hang out. Now we're gonna have fighting in it, but every race is gonna have fighting in itself. But there's little Jamaica, right? You have your places where the Jamaican people can go, right? Because you know what, you have to try to. We get a fight, Unstoppable. We get a fight when we came. Even though we came to Canada and we were free, right? We had to come here and work in the servant jobs. Okay, we had to come here and clean people's house. We had to come here and clean people's this and clean people's that. But you see, when the Filipino people came, you see, when the Sri Lankan people came, the government gave them refugee grants to build businesses. So the Jamaican people, oh, we were good, and our money was actually more than Canada's when we came here, right? But the Jamaican people, even though our money was good, they made us work in clean houses and clean buildings and work in factories and do this and that. And when the Indian people came, when they had their war, what they do? They got business grants and business loans, refugee business grants and refugee business loans. So they got to start at the top and we started at the bottom, and then people come and say, oh, look, we're doing better than you guys. But you know why you're doing better? Because we never got the money from the government, right? We never got refugee business loans and refugee business grants, right? But they did. So we started from the bottom, and it's hard to get out of the bottom, right?
But
so
Tony,
we have lots.
But Tony,
okay, go ahead.
But Tony, what
Yeah.
I'm asking you is,
Mhm.
would you say that whites unite? Yes or no? Just give me an answer to that.
Yes.
Would I say that whites unite? I would say that whites from their own religions and their own countries do unite. Yes,
Okay.
that's
Would
what I
you
would
say
say.
that
If I say
blacks
all
unite?
whites unite,
Would you say that blacks unite at all?
I would say they're not. We're not as united as many groups. I would say I'd have to agree with that.
Thank you.
We're not as united. No.
Thank you. No, my
Okay.
reason for asking you that, Tony, is this.
Mm.
Whites unite to keep us down as black people, and it is the straight truth.
That's true.
If
That's
we
true.
rise up in unity against the people who try to oppress us, we will see a major change. But because some of we too heated and we feel like we can't listen to another black person's advice or opinion without getting upset over it, or we now go agree with somebody if you say let's work together, we will never see change, Tony. That is the
I
reason,
understand.
because as black people, we feel like, listen, that man right there can't be better than me. And I'm not saying that we should think anybody is better than us. But listen, he's not better than me. So why is it that I should join forces with him? Is how black people view things. And even if it's for the betterment of our race as black people, we will not unite. And until we see unity in black people, they will always see us as footstools. And
Okay,
it is just the
so
straight truth.
okay, so now to your point of us not uniting with following somebody as a leader, Derek C. Williams, and I don't know if the other lady is American as well, but they can tell you that every
I'm
time
Jamaican.
there was a great black leader in America, the media and the government used their power to destroy them, to make us look at them in a negative light. So no matter
No,
how
I
good
agree.
I said
black
that.
leader
I
was,
actually
they
said that.
I
destroyed
was here
them.
for Obama.
If they came with the fist clenched like Malcolm X, they destroyed them. If they came with the open
I
hands
said that.
like Martin Luther King, they destroyed them. When they started to make breakfasts in the black communities, right? They destroyed
The
them,
Black
and that's
Panthers,
called
yeah.
the
Black
Black
Panther,
Panthers, right?
I
Every
1966.
said
time
all
there
that.
is a black leader that is good, that is well, the media destroys them,
But
right?
Tony,
When
but
okay,
Tony,
go ahead.
how are they able to destroy us? You know how? Because
The power of the
we are
media.
the very same ones who sell out the people who try to rise. It's not the white
You,
man come and conquer us, It's the same blacks in our own circle sell us out and allow us to be conquered. That is what
unstoppable.
Yes,
happened.
this is true.
You are
It
you
is
are
it would
100%
have to be
right.
sold out by a black person, but you know what the thing is? Again, that's not a black problem. That's a person problem. Because when they got the bikers, well, even though they're still in power, but when they got the mafia in America, there was other mafia, right, that had to sell them out. So it's a human condition to sell out. It's not a black condition.
Yeah, that is
It's a
true
human
too.
condition,
That is true
right?
too.
But it's affecting us when the black people are selling out. It's affecting us, and we're seeing it because we're black. We don't see when the mafia is selling out each other, but they have to make a video or a movie or a documentary for you to find out the mafia had a bunch of sellouts, right?
Which is true, Tony. It is true. But here the difference between us, black people, and the mafia.
Mm.
Even when them very own people sell them out, them still dip on top. Even when our people sell us out, we still stay down at bottom because we cannot go up the chain. It
We
is
have
just
a
the truth.
yes, we have a problem going up the chain. But here what? When the Italians, right, and the Russians came to America, they were in the same category as us, right? They called them nothing. They didn't want the Russians and the Italians. Derek C. Williams and the next lady, they can tell you that, right? They would have even called them niggers, right? But when they saw that black people were getting together and starting to do something for themselves, what they did is that they told the Italians and the Russians, well, you're kind of like us. So they moved them up the chain, and then we were stuck in the same place, right? So every time we're trying to every time that if we're beside somebody, they always build them up and make them better, and we're still stuck in the same place.
All right.
Well, here, if I
So
could just jump in right.
people end up fighting for the scraps.
Yeah,
All right, bless up.
Derek wants to make a statement, Tony. You can't hear him, but you can listen in on the
I
channel.
can't hear
right?
him. Okay, so
Okay,
listen
well,
after I hang up then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I respect your
Bless
point.
up.
So,
Yeah, hold on, Derek. He's gonna listening on the show. So hey, Derek, Tony, and when you hear me tell you,
Yeah.
no, it was about
Yeah.
what half an hour ago since I said more and the ones tush pumping for calling. You remember me tell you she not call, and
Yeah.
she's still in the
Yeah.
comment section running off her mouth about unstoppable. Stop spreading the narrative. She not calling, you know. I say I want to catch her up on the hot seat, you see. I want to catch Tush Pumpkin, you see. And she want to catch, you know. But she not.
Calling Pumpkin.
She afraid. She afraid. She not gonna call you.
well, it's a touchy
Hello?
subject, you know.
All right, hold on there, Derek. All right, Carla, what's going on? Talk to me.
Yes, let me tell you something. I've been listening to the chat tonight, and I'm very, very, very interested.
Speak up a little bit more.
Um,
Speak up a little bit more.
yes. No, something is in the background. Anyway, I'm here with all this going on. I'm here praying for our people because we are the people of His pastor. When he said in Psalm 100 and 100, he said, we must enter into His gate with thanksgiving because we're the people of His pastor. It is us, black people, He's talking about. So we really need to. I'm just encouraging our black men to stand up. I'm not saying we should not march. We should not stand up for what it is because while they're out there doing, I'm in here praying. And I'm asking our people, our men especially, because I'm depending on you guys to stand up and turn to God in prayer because you have the power. They know this. That's why they're fighting us so hard because they know what you guys got inside of you. And if you turn to God, everything is done for them. That's why they're working so hard in dividing us. You understand what I'm saying? They're working hard to keep us. You know what I noticed? I noticed what they're doing in Jamaica now. They're giving them gun in their hand to kill each other. The little children, the little young youth, them that are so young. Where they get gun from? They don't buy. They don't build gun for themselves. They don't make gun. They don't have gun factory, but they have all kind of gun out there killing each other. The other people them not doing it to each other. What I'm saying, we need to stop fighting one another and start praying. The men, I'm calling our black men, to lift up their eyes to God Almighty and pray. And turn our face to God, and because He said He's gonna come in and He's gonna lead His army out of here, and we must pray. That's all I'm asking you to, and I thank you that you can listen to me. Thank you.
All right, Carla, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so Derek, you wanted to say something when Tony jumped off. What you wanted to say?
Yeah, just I respect his point of view, but I have to respectfully disagree with him when he talks about the response, and the response is an appropriate one. The fact is that the central government, the federal government, has a mandate to keep this country intact. And so the way if he says once the looting starts, the shooting starts, as callous as that sounds, that's the same thing George Bush said in 1992 or something thereabout. He said we were going to come in and quell the violence. And what it is that it always comes back, and I would challenge him to show me in history where it has not come back on black people. When we say that you're burning down your neighborhoods, yes, black people are predominantly in black areas doing that looting. Yes, there is Antifa cells in this country, ain't no doubt about it. But the fact is things are burning, and because the politicians in those local jurisdictions aren't mobilizing to quell the violence, the president has a mandate to come out and say, look, if y'all not gonna do it, we'll do it. And at that point, that's when the rubber hits the road. And so people did not like Donald Trump for saying when the looting starts, the shooting starts, but that's the proper response, because the
That
thing
is
is
not the proper response.
no. When I say the proper response, I'm meaning this. There's not that line may be inappropriate, but the fact that you want to come in and bring the military to quell the violence is the proper response. Why? Because you want to stop life and limb and property from being damaged. And in his opinion, the local governments weren't moving fast enough, and that's the reason why they're here. Now, people may not like that, but that's the way military works. That's the way the central government works. He
Coming
has
to
a
you, Jackie. Coming to
mandate
you,
to
Jackie.
stop. He has a mandate to stop the violence when and where it pops up in this country. If not, he runs the risk of ruining his presidency. In fact, I would dare say if this was Obama, he would have to make a similar move. And I would say, and I would ask anybody, Tony, yourself, Unstoppable, anybody, if Obama had to put military on the streets, would people be cool with it, or are you hot because Trump is putting
I think
military on the streets?
if
Either
this
way
if
you look at it, that's a proper response by him mobilizing the National Guards all over this country. So you may not like it, but that's how it works. Because once again, they wouldn't have no reason to come out there if people weren't tearing up and killing people. That's the reason why we're in this mess.
All right, so Tony, and I know you want to address Derek, but let me take this call first, and then we get back to you. All right. All right, Jackie, what's going on?
What's up? Good night. Okay, first of all, did you guys see the video where there was the news reporter, he was reporting this guy that was looting,
I saw it.
and the police caught him, right? And the police caught him. And when they asked him, what was it? And he said he wasn't there for the cause, really. He was there for the money,
Just to
to
make
see
some
what he could
money.
make.
Right.
Right, just to make some money. So there are people there that is not there for the right reason. So we have to understand that. And with every good, there's going to come bad. That's number one. Number two, I understand, and I'm not against them burning and stuff like that. But when they're going to go in certain areas, like my niece lives in Philadelphia by 60th Street, and I know Derek know where that is, 60th Street by Market, and they have a
West
little
Philly,
corner store and stuff like that. And these same people that would go there and ask for a cigarette or ask for a soda or something like that went in there and loot everything. You understand? No, you put this person out of business that you always come to. So who are you gonna go to? Who are you gonna go to tomorrow?
Exactly.
You loot the pharmacy. You loot the pharmacy in your neighborhood. Where am I gonna get medicine for my family if they need it? For the grandma and the grandpa. Now you're gonna have to go over to the other side of town. And that other side of town is where the white people are. So now you're going to leave your neighborhood to go into a neighborhood where you're going to have to worry to go get something.
Exactly.
You understand? So you have to think before you do things.
Exactly.
Listen, I am not for the looting. Because listen, I'm telling you, leave everything in the store and burn it down. But don't burn your neighborhood. Go up a road there, go up in a road there drive, go up in a catch go down to Manhattan, catch the stock market, catch it on fire. You understand? All of these things you can do, but don't burn your neighborhood, because when you burn your neighborhood, they're not gonna rebuild it. They're not gonna rebuild
Bingo.
it. You understand? And
Bingo.
that's why that's what people have to understand. And sometimes when you for you to get results, not only protesting, you have to hurt people in their pocket. And that's the easy. So where you're gonna hurt? You're gonna hurt the rich people. Them. You can't hurt poor people. That poor people don't already hurt.
Jackie, that is why
You
I
understand?
said, Jackie, that is why I said I have no problem with the protest. I have no problem with them looting, right? But no, sorry, no problem with them burning, but go in at the rich communities, go do it. That
Right.
is, that
and
is
when
my
you
statement.
right. And when you go inside there, don't take anything.
Right,
just burn.
Just burn. Yes.
You understand?
You see, watch
Because that
this.
is the thing what they're saying, That's what they're saying. They're looking at, look at them. Because to me, people say they do this, they kill the man like him as an animal. You listen, in America, if you kill an animal, Michael Vick have dog fight, and them said them go to jail for over much years. You understand? So animal have more right than black people.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So for you to get any kind of justice, you understand? You have to get the people them in the pocket, the rich people them, and then they will come out and start to talk about it. You understand? But if you go into the black people, what can we do? We're not gonna get no result. Because we just one place will burn down.
Exactly. Listen.
And then you know what happened next week?
You know what
insurance company put up everything.
You know what
I will pay feedback.
You know what me hear people say, Jackie?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember back in the day, them did burn. Yes, they burned, but it wasn't looting. They burned, but it wasn't looting.
And where they burn?
Okay. All right. You understand?
So I'm saying you have to burn where they're gonna feel it, not us gonna feel it.
Exactly.
They're gonna feel it. You understand? To get any kind of response and get any changes. And until we unite, and I'm saying because if everybody was out there uniting, this big talk about this looting wouldn't have come up. But because we're not united, and as long as we're not, they can divide us. You understand? Because united we stand, divided we fall. You understand? So until we unite, we'll get any kind of results.
Exactly.
And that's what they're scared of. Because if we unite, we are powerful.
Exactly.
And that's what we all have to understand and come together. You understand? Because this man life, let me tell you something. With this man dying, let me tell you where the worst part is. The part when them call for his mother, and when the ambulance people them come and them touch the man's neck, and the man says something to the man, and the man still having knee in the man's neck. And that's the worst part of the whole thing,
No.
When them call for his mother,
to me,
and when the man tell him say the man in lifeless body, and him still having knee in the neck.
To me, still, the worst part of that whole thing is just him being there upon the man neck over.
Yeah.
To me, that is
but
the worst part.
Yes, I know. But I'm saying, when the man tell you say dead, you still have your knee in the man neck. Like you said, make sure say him really dead.
That's why I want the death penalty for him. That me want. That is my.
Your death penalty you want? I want them lynch. I want them to like what the Ku Klux Klan used to do here. I want some man do him.
All right, Jackie, big up yourself. See?
All right, darling.
Yeah, man. All right, Derek, Tony, Ann, let's get into it in the last 7 minutes. So I'll go on now. Tony, Ann, you wanted to address Derek?
No, I just wanted to touch on what he said about the president's response, just it being appropriate. And I think that things got this bad because the president's response was so inappropriate. Like when this was going on, when Obama was in power, it didn't get this bad. He came out and he addressed the public, and that's what people have been waiting for. When they were protesting, when the white people were out there protesting, getting haircuts, being in lockdown for Corona, he came out and he said, those are good people, right? Those are good people. Compromise a little bit with them. They're good people. They were spitting in cops' faces. They had guns at their capitals, at the state capitals.
Right.
And he didn't deploy National Guard.
Okay, well, okay, point made. But the thing is that I think you had so many protests nationwide that it forces the head of state to make a move. And I also have to point out the fact that under Obama, as much as people don't like to bring this up, but this is just a matter of fact, we had more racial incidents under Obama. Terrence Crusher was killed. Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice. It was a bet. One guy in Louisiana, I think he got shot 39 times in Baton Rouge. All this stuff was under a black president,
Yeah, and that's
and
awful.
all the
But
all
sorry, go ahead.
and you know all and it's funny. It's just funny how that is now. Again, I'm apolitical. I'm not for any politician. I don't. All of them is crooked as a dog's hind leg. But if we're going to talk about our first black president, we actually had a whole bunch of racial stuff. As a matter of fact, you remember Beergate with Henry Louis Gates and the policeman, and they went to have a beer. That was with Obama. That was what right at the beginning of his presidency. And it seems that it was a whole bunch of stuff under his administration. You would have thought we would have had this kumbaya thing with him. Okay, well now you got somebody where you know where he stands, and we have this incident here. So to me, when I say the proper response, I'm talking about in regards to the fact that you have all of these protests and all these looting and loss of life and property damage under his administration. He has to answer. If
All
he
right.
don't say nothing, he risked his presidency. So you have to understand where he coming from, as much as you may not like him.
He
So
is
I'm just
risking
looking.
his presidency right
Listen.
now
The truth
Well,
with
he
this
is, but
response. I have
listen.
friends.
understood.
I have
Well,
friends, white friends, who were not registered to vote because they were neutral, and because of Trump's response. I had a friend yesterday who actually went and registered to vote because of Trump's response to all of this.
under,
So yeah, all
understood.
that
But
stuff happened under Obama, but it never
mhm.
got this bad because we have a shitty leader, which is why it got this bad, and I'm glad it did.
Well,
So now
like
we need to
well,
figure
well,
out what we're
hopefully.
asking for and get those changes. So again, we're not here 4 years from now.
I
All right.
agree.
So
Well,
let's
ma'am, fingers
let's take
fingers crossed with all of that.
let's
Fingers
take a
crossed
listen
with all of
to
that. Only
the
thing I
caller.
was saying is that again, because of the national reaction, the head of
Hello?
state has to do something. That's just the way our system works.
All right. So
That's
caller, you're
that's all I'm
live. Talk
saying.
to me. What's going on, Dr. Mia?
All right. So the video, I've watched it like 1,000 times and I know it's heart wrenching. And I muscled up all the strength I could to watch that video because I really wanted to see what exactly was happening. I mean, it took me about, say, 3 days before I could watch that video, but I muscled up and I watched it about a couple of times. And that video is brutal and total wickedness. Now I don't have much to say more than all I can say. Jackie said it all. I wanted to say what she said, but she said it all. You can't loot and loot in your own community. You better just loot and just burn the place down. Don't loot it, sorry, just burn everything down. Let them understand that they need to respect Black people, but then we have to respect ourselves first. At the same time, we need to stand strong and we need to stand together. We need to unite as one people. I've said this so many times that we fight against our own. It's everywhere. If okay, let's say I open a business. I have few friends around me. Now everybody know I don't have friends, I have associates. And I have few friends around me. And I said this on my channel, the last topic I had. Persons start bad minding you over your own stuff because what? They are Black people and they think that they can't do better. Now, if we stand strong and unite with one another and fight against what they're doing to us, everything will work itself out. But if we separate ourselves and divide ourselves against ourselves, then it's not going to happen. And this is not going to end anytime soon because everybody is making their own point at each thing that they're doing. Who is looting to make money? Who is protesting because of George Floyd? Who is doing what they want to do just to make their point across? That the whole entire thing, we just need to stand strong as people and make the white people, the rich people understand that we're strong Black people, we're strong Black men and women, not just the men. We are strong people, and people need to understand that. So that's just how I see it, and that's just all I have to say because we're too far apart from each other as people. We were We were there before the white people. America is made up of black people. That's we started this thing. It never started with no white people. It started with multi black people from different race because Indians are not white people; they're black people. So
All
we
right,
just
Dr.
need to
Leah.
stand strong.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, so
Yeah.
Rosie says, take a good look at the crowd and see that whites are in the crowd. It wasn't only blacks looting. Rosie, you
Oh
have
no,
been here from the
100%
show
no.
started. Rosie, we stated that from the beginning that we know that whites are in the crowd as well. We noted that from the beginning. Of course, we know that white people out there loot. We know that they are the ones out there doing it, but blacks are there as well. Gary Wagwan.
Good night, good night, good night, finally. Well, go on. All right. Very
Hi,
good
Gary.
topic. Derek, big
Hello.
up yourself and the young miss and everybody, good night. All right, my point
Yes,
is
sir.
not a big point, but all right, for the first thing, I must say, this is something that I want to address for years on top of years because um now the platform come out where and George. All right, I don't agree with the looting and all of those stuff. And as the lady said before, buildings have a burn down were necessary to the government.
Mm-hmm.
Cause insurance and everything are covered on something. And they have to rebuild. But when we mash up our own community, them already turn them back to our community. So why are we even making it worse?
Mm-hmm.
But the next thing we may look for, we may look on a big, in a wider scale. All of this thing, what is happening to us, there's a head to it because society has made up a way that black people and a world we only can reach to, but so much, so far. We can't reach. They set it up that we'll just reach to, just get a little pie out of, just a cut out of the cake. We can't. It's set up where we're not for reach nowhere high. We must always stood low, and this is coming from the head. And for all of this to be controlled, for us to see ourselves, we have to look in ourselves now. This is where we, with parents and all, and before I get to that part, the head, what I say, Rome, from the Romans days come down. Those heads are the heads who have to cut because those heads still in controls in a lot of ways. And and for us to get to that point, that is where those era for breakdown. For we parents now and our world, where we have to look into. We are looking into when we send our kids to school, we send them go play football, and some of them go football and athletic because we want money. The money in the world. But you see, we have to encourage our kids now to get if you look on the juridical system, it is white. No black no there.
Yeah.
So we don't have nobody for defend we or nothing because we have put our kids in a different zone. So the zone we put our kids into, them say we ignorant to society. So overall, them will always have control. So in the sense of this, as a young miss a while ago, we have a prayer, true? Yes, prayer work true. But right now, this is a situation where we just have to look into ourselves and try to unite. Oh, we're going to unite? We can't keep up all of this. We just have to just look into ourselves and say, okay, this is the way. Yes, Martin Luther King march and say we shall overcome, but them burn down places which was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Them get rid of places which was necessary.
Yeah.
So for move along, for move forward and get to the top, we have to try. We have to unite, climb just like them say. Well, black people is like crab in a bucket, but we have to know. We have to look in ourselves as a crab and say, listen, me. One crab climb on another one climb on the other one, and come out of the bucket. When I want to reach a ground, him pull over the other one, and we go. And once we can come together like that, trust me, we will overcome. And the next hand, you know, some people judge and say, boy, yo, this man, the police, them are going to get to answer. If every time in them life, them always a get to this a time, I know, make bet anybody that this a time, them not police and I get where.
If the
They will not get away.
If the people not continue pushing though, them have to
You
continue
understand?
pushing. Them can't just push
Them
and
have to
stop.
continue push. Them have to push, but push and push the right way too.
Right.
You understand me? Them have to push and push the right way. But as me say, this door is an open door for us. As me say, the jury system, everything, the legal system, everything, it just white. Our we want more to push our kids, as me say, in sports and so on. And those things where we need to push our kids them in things where we have to get control. Because once we get control of certain things, you know, at this you know we build ourselves that's of reach the top. You understand me? But the hard work will bring success and good knowledge. And we have to be smart. Otherwise, would I say an intelligent fool, which is a bookworm combined with a street smart dude. Street smart guy, I go overcome him sometime, most of the time, because I just using smartness. So the white man I use smartness for us. Now we have to go back to the drawing board and come back and come around and deal with them. Because once we team together and once we put together, you know, as Booker T I was saying, if we join together and put together and do everything together as one, they might go come with strategy of manipulate us, you know. But guess what? So them come, we always I think 3 times ahead of them. You understand me? So that is what I have to say about the whole situation.
All right, Gary. Blessings. Thanks for calling, my brother.
Blessings.
All right,
Yeah.
so Kitty number 2 says, moving forward, look for justice in how you are treated by the police and at work and in your interaction with others. Justice can be served in many ways. What you say, Tony Ann?
Yes,
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
All right, so we're done over time. So I'm going to give you both the last words. What do you have to say?
I mean, everyone made some pretty good points, but I think overall we can just agree that we're one step closer to, you know, justice. And yeah, we are somewhat divided, but we came together pretty well, I'd say. Besides the looting, if we leave that out, I think we came together to get where we are today. So we just got to keep pushing to make sure that they are prosecuted and we do get the justice that we need, and so we can get systemic reform. So we're not here again in a couple of years. That's it.
Exactly. Derek?
Yes. Yes. Respect due to Miss Tony. I feel the exact same way. Just for me, again, I think that because of our unique set of circumstances, just the way black people are in this country and around the world, we have to be much more tactful. We can't make the mistakes that the white man can. We get blamed for stuff that we don't necessarily have power over. And that's that's evidenced by all of the people that are agent provocateurs. Because in my opinion, when all the dust is settled, we'll get blamed for all of the destruction and things like that, and of course the response that's generated by the president, yada yada yada. But until me personally, I think that black people need to love themselves more. We say this every day, but what I see in Philadelphia and around the country, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Unfortunately, I wish it would, but that's where I am with it. So hopefully these men will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and perhaps that will quell some of this unnecessary violence and destruction of property that we've seen.
All right, so Tony Tough says, just imagine last week they weren't gonna charge them, and I agree. But
Yeah, I agree.
what got us to get action is the fact that thousands of black people and whites actually united for this cause, and that's what got us action. That is what got us action. That is what got them arrested. That is what got them charged. That is what is going to get them convicted. The fact that we united. And it just goes to show that unity can actually give us results. That's what that shows. That's what that tells me. That if we decide to unite and do things and push for a cause, we can actually see change. I want to say thank you both for joining me in this conversation tonight. It was definitely refreshing, and we have to do it again in other topics. Zena still in the chats about the riots do that.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Big up Lady B Unstoppable and Clara.
Oh God, Zena, more power to you. More power to Zena, because Zena still believes the riot
Shout
gave
out to
us.
Zena.
Yeah. Shout out to Zena, and may I give you the fist, Zena. More power. All right, and Stush Pumpkin too. Big up yourself, Stush Pumpkin, even though she not calling, but big up. And the thing is, like I said, I knew that there would have been difference in opinions tonight because of this topic. So I came prepared for it. Right? You know? So at the end
Mhm.
of the day, it was still a good conversation. And I want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight and partake in this discussion. All right? Derek, have an awesome night. Tony and have an awesome night. Blessings to you both. All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Yes,
me.
sir. Thank you. Respect due to Miss Tony.
Same.
All
Blessings.
right. Bye bye.
Bye. Take care.
All right. So everyone, blessings. This was a great conversation, and thank you all for tuning in tonight. We can't complain when actually get over 2 hours tonight. You understand? But I already knew that this conversation wouldn't have, fit only in 1 hour. So I prepared for it to go over a little bit tonight. All right. I want to say thanks to the persons that's contributed to the Unstoppable Show. I want to say thank you to Bartholomew Smith for the Cash App contribution that came in while I was on air. Thank you so much, Bartholomew. And I want to say thanks to the persons who contributed via Super Chat. I want to say thank you to G Style, Tough Style, N Kruma, Gary Logan, and Kitty number 2. I think that was it. Was there someone else? But yeah, all the persons who contributed via Super Chat or Cash App and PayPal, thank you so much. That is totally appreciated. I want to say big up to every single person that is here right now listening. As a matter of fact, if you sticked in and stayed throughout the entire conversation, thank you so much. If you shared, thank you so much. That is appreciated. If you hit the like button, that is appreciated as well. You know how we do it over here. We show respect to each other, right? Earlier, I see somebody says, Stush Pumpkin, Maya get black. But no, Stush Pumpkin wasn't being disrespectful. She was sharing her opinions, and I can respect that, right? Some people started to get disrespectful and saying, yo, the Makala now make no sense and stuff like that. That is what gets you blocked. If you start to disrespect Makala, then that is what leads to you being blocked. Sharing your opinion, nothing is wrong with that. I want you to share your opinions, but in a respectful way. All right? But the minute you start to say, Kala, you're so dumb or Kala, you now make no sense, you will be blocked. All right? So just as long as everyone understands that, then we're safe. All right? Remember, if you have something that you want to share, this is the platform to share your experiences. All right, you can share your experiences by calling or sending a message to the number on the screen, 876-420-3368. That is what you do in order to share your experience. Yeah, man, Stush Pumpkin, I know you would never be disrespectful to anyone, and I respect your opinions just as much as I respect Zena one, even though Zena get extra heated. Yo, me say, me can't stand it. But Azina that, and she's extremely passionate. So big up to Zena as well. All right, Karen says you're late. Big up yourself, Karen. And Jason, big up yourself, my boss. And Tony, thank you for tuning in tonight as well and calling in. Rosie, unstoppable blessings to you as well. And at this time, I'm going to say, unstoppable officials, it's time for you to march out. I didn't do the march out last show, and I must apologize for that. Thank you, JJ, for reminding me and say, Unstoppable, don't forget the march out tonight. So, Unstoppable officials, march out right now. Share opinion in a respectful manner. Yes, Derek. Sorry, Karen. That is exactly how we do it. All right, Zenobia, Henry, Unstoppable, a march out. Big up yourself. Delrose Holder, marching out with our badge. Big up yourself. Derek C. Williams, a march out with him badge. See the blessings. I'm officer, big up. Hold on there. I wonder why Jason not become an official yet. Jason has been around a long time, May I try to figure out why Jason is not an official yet, But anyway, 20 tough. A march out with an official. No, man, this one get us very passionate. Yeah, man, Tony. Me know that, but Tony, that's what I'm saying. I knew that long time. I knew that it would be very, a passionate conversation. All right, Stush Pumpkin, blessings. Stush Pumpkin, me not understand what you mean by you know how to call on WhatsApp, Me not even going to entertain you, Sure. Clara Duval, blessings to you. The Diva Messiah, Tony Tough, rock out him gold badge. Natalia Grant, rocking her gold VIP. Derek C. Williams is at a gold VIP status as well. Dr. Mia Witter, blessings. All right. Stush Pumpkin, no reach over to VIP yet, but soon and very soon. But she's rocking her badge. Denise Unstoppable is rocking her VIP. Yes. And more of a big up also Janine Unstoppable as well. Blessings to Janine. All right, where the rest of the VIP them there? Darlene Walter Riley rocking her VIP badge. Big up yourself. All right, Nurse James Wagwan. Oh, yeah, man, Nurse James. Me know. Yeah, man, me always see the comments, man. Don't worry yourself. Some of them. All right. Natalia Grant, blessings to you. All right, officials. Carolee Unstoppable rocking her badge. Blessings to you, Carolee. All right. Why am I say Carolee? Carol Unstoppable. Yes. Kitty number 2, hold on. Go hold up a sign and support the cause. Houston had 60,000 peaceful protesters. Unity is strength. Yes, Kitty. And thank you for that contribution as well. Thank you. All right. Where the rest of the official them there? Gary Logan rocking him VIP golden badge. Yes. Let's go. Karen Queen, big up. All right. Barbara Shata, welcome to the stream. Sherms Unstoppable rocking his VIP badge. Well, rocking VIP badge. I don't know if Sherms is a male or female, so why would I say his? My apologies. Don Thompson rocking a VIP badge. Yes, see, the Kizzy Unstoppable rock a golden VIP. Oh, you mean Kizzy? Yes. Negrita rocking our VIP badge over there. Yes. Aurora Mary, big up yourself, Aurora. All right. Is that all the VIPs? Lady B Unstoppable rocking her VIP badge as well. And it would seem like that is all the officials right there who decided to march out. I didn't see Jacqueline Chung march out, but Jacqueline is an official. So big up yourself, Jacqueline Chung. All right. Blessings to all the Unstoppable officials who... Sure, Lady B, no play with me, no. Sure. Blessings to all the Unstoppable officials who tuned in tonight. Thank you so much. It is totally appreciated all the time. And in order to become an Unstoppable official, all you need to do is hit the word join beside the subscribe button and you can become an Unstoppable official. Thank you all. I will see you on Friday. Be safe. Stay blessed. Natasha Moore marching out as well. Big up yourself, Natasha. I will see you all on Friday. Blessings.
Want to boost traffic to your business or get more ears listening to your music? Don't know where to start? Let us help you. Advertise with Unstoppable Media and get noticed today. Contact us at 876-420-3368 or email us at xtrailplayer@gmail.com. That's xtrailplayer@gmail.com. Let us put you in front of our audience today.
Maxine Hall, now I see you. Good night, Maxine. Thank you for marching out, Maxine. Blessings.
Feeling the music, way. Feeling the music, way. Move your waistline, way. Move your shoulders, way. Way. Feeling the music, way. Move your waistline, way. Move your shoulders, way. Music got me feeling like I'm way up high, sipping in martinis and luscious with umbrellas up high. I like dancing, and you like dancing. Put my feet up high, and I don't want to go home. So turn the music up high. Feeling the music, way. Feeling the music, way. Move your waistline, way. Move your shoulders, way. Feeling the music, way. Move your waistline, way.
And before I leave, I want to send a big shout out to all my moderators, those people who in blue. Thank you so much for always being here and being supportive to the show. Blessed night to you all.